WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Someone was stealing mail. Sunny, 73 degrees on the circle. No rain on your radar. Low of 50 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Hopefully you weren't one of his victims. John Havrick reports on an accused thief working for the post office.
Court documents say Justin Crane opened numerous greeting cards and took cash and gift cards out of the mail that came out to be about $5,000 over the course of a few months at the Indianapolis Processing and Distribution Center. Police say when he was interviewed, he admitted to stealing the money out of the mail. He has 6 months of house arrest, followed by 3 years of probation, and he has to pay a $5,000 fine. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
3 people are wanted by IMPD for driving a stolen car into the front door of a pawn shop at the south side. It happened around 4:30 this morning at Southeast Street, not far from Madison Avenue. The security company for the local business told IMPD that it was 3 people who ran from this scene, so that's how they got their suspects. If you know where they are, let the cops know. You're probably familiar with Hurricane Milton at this point and all the people trying to get out of the storm's way in Florida. Former South Bend Mayor and current Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says not everyone has to travel very far to get to someplace safe.
Sometimes, by the way, the evacuations are shorter than you would think. It's a matter of just a few miles to get from a place that would be totally inundated to a shelter or a place that's considered safe.
Buttigieg talking with CNN. Milton's currently a Category 4 storm and is expected to reach Florida later today, possibly Thursday morning. Charging you for the energy you use is not as straightforward as you might think. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
Electric bills have 2 parts, says Andrew Leo, an engineering professor at Purdue University. The first part is the cost of generating the electricity. The other part is the cost of maintaining the infrastructure for delivery.
Which is infrastructure maintenance, like mainly transmission distribution lines. The increase in cost is mainly due to their age. They're just getting older and cost more to maintain.
Leo says renewable energy sources like wind and solar power have become cheaper to build and run than traditional fossil fuels. Ryan Hedrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Traffic and weather in about 60 seconds. It's 3:04.
It's starting to be fall in Indiana, the perfect time to tackle home projects you've been putting off before winter arrives. With Moss Roofing by your side, you don't have to do it alone. They're ready to assist with your roofing and siding needs, ensuring your home is safe and ready for the holidays. Let Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, give your home a serious glow up with premium James Hardy siding, tough enough to face Indiana's wild weather and stylish enough to turn heads on your block. And the best part, their free inspections come with a 3D design preview so you could see your home's stunning makeover before the work begins. Contact Moss Roofing for a job done right every single time at Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 317-747-3665. That's 747-3665. Or online at Moss, MOSS, mossroofing.com. And don't forget, tell them Tony Kennet sent you.
Traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Matt Bear.
What's up, Harrison? Inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn. And looking at the northeast side, little slowdown on the ramp from southbound 69 to southbound 465. Hancock County eastbound 70, stop before County Road 200 west for about 1.5 miles to 2 miles. We had a traffic hazard at State Road 9. That has cleared, I am told. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, warm and wonderful for your Wednesday. We'll get up to 76 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, cool again, lows near 47. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tera Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
It's a big one. It is a big, nasty, up to 18 inches of rain could fall on Florida today. Storm surge. That's going to be the story. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. And, oh my God, Look who they've got to fill in today.
What an intro.
Mr. Off the Rails himself from the Kendall and Casey show, Rob Kendall is here.
I'd like to point out you asked 9 other people before me. The list of people you sent me, you're like, I've asked this person, and would you please come in and help?
So when I was in high school, there was this thing called the turnabout dance, where it was the female's job to ask the guys out.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like your position back then, right? Well, Jason, everybody else said no, and I bought the dress already, so I guess we'll go to this dance.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to the masses, and a very small bar to hop over with Nigel being the guidepost, but we'll try to do it today. It'll be great.
So have you been to Tampa? I know you don't travel a lot. You don't like to fly. You're not a big traveler, and you're also a cheapskate. But have you been to the Tampa area?
I went to Disney World as a kid, and I went to Miami once, and that is, and I went somewhere else in Florida one time. 3 times to Florida, never to Tampa.
Because it's about to get rocked. What was a Category 5 hurricane last night is down to a 4 right now, but it's a strong 4. Now, as it begins to make landfall, which we expect later on tonight, late tonight, technically early on Thursday, it will probably be a Cat 3 at landfall. But the thing is, Rob, people hear that and they think, oh, well, it's getting weaker. You got to remember, Katrina was a Category 5, but as it gets closer to land and there's less water, it's going to be downgraded. Katrina was a 3 when it hit land.
Yeah, there's 2 things you have to factor in, and I know quite a bit about hurricanes because I owned a radio station near Wilmington for many years, and it got hit by multiple hurricanes. 2 things you have to factor in, and they both can be equally damaging. One is the wind, and the other is the rainfall. And sometimes you'll see a Cat 1. So, like, I had 2 hurricanes that hit my radio station near Wilmington that were Cat 1s, and it totally gutted everything in the area just because the rain came and it sat. It's not just wind, it's also rain that's a factor in this. And when you hit an area like Tampa Bay, it can just be the amount of water that falls that can do the damage.
So we're hearing Manatee County and Sarasota County. Those are the places where landfall is expected. Now, give or take 50 miles north or south, because storms have a mind of their own. Could go 50 miles north, could go 50 miles south. But we're already seeing tornadoes on the ground in Florida. And you kind of brought this up earlier, and I think this is important. Just because something isn't a Cat 5 or it isn't a Cat 4 doesn't mean that it can't just cause catastrophic damage.
Yeah, one of the things inside of a hurricane are these tornadoes that pop up. So it's not necessarily people think of the hurricane. There's things that happen inside the hurricanes. I mean, these are such massive weather events. You can't even begin to fathom them. And we talked about this last week when Helene hit. We are actually quite lucky here in Indiana because, yes, of course, we get tornadoes, and sometimes they're devastating, and sometimes they do immense damage and loss of life. But it's the event itself. It happens. The thing, you can be 10 miles down the road and be fine, and 10 miles away from you can be complete devastation. And I know that sounds weird to say, well, we're very lucky. With a hurricane, one, you watch it. Like, you just sit and you watch and you guesstimate and you estimate and you hope and you pray. And the fact that you can see the thing coming for days at a time at you is a really a terrible feeling. But also the weather event. I mean, I can't even begin to describe what a hurricane is actually like. Just take these tornadoes here, multiply them by 10, 15 times. And the tornadoes that happen here, these things are happening inside the hurricanes themselves.
So yesterday on this program, we spoke to Nigel's friend Marco. He is choosing to ride this thing out down in the Tampa area. Now, one of our listeners is living in Palmetto, Florida, which is also over by the Gulf Coast, near the Tampa type area. Listener Michael, he's riding it out with his family as well. He's been sending us videos and updates, and when he sends those to us, we'll pass them along to you. Now, already, I posted one of his videos, Robs, and there was some guy that was giving me crap because I shared his video you need to tell him he needs to evacuate instead of putting his stuff online.
Sure. Here's the thing about a hurricane. There's a window by which you gotta, fight or flight, right? There's a window to get out. And really the reality, we've seen this in Tampa is, and I've had some friends who have gotten out of there who have homes near there. If you don't get out in a certain window, you're basically stuck because then once you try to get out, there's no gas. I mean, I saw a thing earlier where like 20% of all gas stations in Florida are out of gas. And so you're creating more danger for yourself by not getting out of it. And look, these people, and by these people, I'm not trying to be negative, but same thing in North Carolina, South Carolina. There's people who live in the South. They have experience with these. They know how to ride them out. Now, this one's going to be massive. It's going to be big. But you're not dealing with rank amateurs. People in these states know how to deal with hurricanes.
And I'm glad you bring up you're not dealing with amateurs here because the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, I think has got a pretty good grasp of how to deal with these types of things here. Yesterday, and I believe earlier today, he's had a lot of the inmates that are locked up in Florida out on the beaches gathering up sand for the local hardware stores, for the people of the community. So not only do the inmates get a little bit of community service, they get to go out, but it helps the community as well. And right now you have 275 Florida linemen who are staying at the Doral Miami Golf Resort. That's former President Trump's golf resort for free, just waiting for this thing to run its course, and then they will go into action immediately.
Yeah, one other thing you have to consider that we don't think about because we have tornadoes, not hurricanes, and they pop up pretty quick, is getting back into the location. So if you own a property and it's easy to say, you should go, you should flee, it sometimes can take days or weeks to get back to your property if a hurricane hits because of the damage it will do to the infrastructure in the area, the flooding, the destruction of roads. And so it's not just as easy as you should totally go. Some people, especially if they have loved ones in the area, elderly parents, etc., they don't have the ability. If you have someone in a nursing home or someone who needs medical attention, you don't have the ability to just go ahead and go, I've been through this. I've been through where they'll tell you, hey, you cannot pass to come back to your house or your property for it's going to be a week if you're lucky. Some people simply just don't have that option.
That's been the biggest problem with Asheville, North Carolina, is that these trees in these mountainous areas have been knocked over on the roads, so the aid can't get in and the people can't get out. That's been a big problem.
Yeah, one other thing with that, you mentioned Asheville. We used to go right through there on the way to the radio station. There is no direct line to Wilmington or Myrtle Beach, etc. So you'd have to go through western North Carolina. And there'd be times where just natural things like boulders would fall down. I mean, literally, you're in the mountains, boulders would fall down. It was always a risk you'd run. It could fall on you, conceivably. But just things like that would shut travel down for days or weeks at a time as they got the boulder off the road, would repair the road. Think about what's going on if you have a hurricane hit the area.
Now, Nigel's friend Marco and the listener that we've got looks like they're pretty well prepared to handle this type of storm. There was a viral video that went around yesterday of a disabled veteran, a guy that's got one leg. They call him Lieutenant Dan on social media. Again, guy's only got one leg, doesn't own a house. All he has is a 20-foot sailboat.
Yeah.
He did a video with a friend where he was talking about how he's going to ride the storm out in the bay on his boat.
God told me to come out here and get a boat. I came out here and got a boat. And everything that he's been telling me over the last 2 days is I'm doing the right thing. He's got my back. I'm in good shape. I ain't sweating it. We're going to ride this one out. We got set up the way we know what we're doing. And as long as the water just keeps rising, we'll be fine.
Will you be wearing a life jacket?
Hell no.
Are you going to be able to swim if it need be?
In circles.
Can you swim with one leg or what?
Yeah, I can float like a damn champ. But swimming, I just go in circles.
So the plan's just to stick it out here?
Yeah. I mean, the water's going to come in, it's going to rise. If you're on land, it's going to flood, you're risking drowning. I'm in a boat. The boat goes up with the water. So even if the boat goes up 100 feet in the air, I'm going to be up 100 feet in the air with the water. So it's really the safest place in the world to be is on my boat. And I got room for one more female.
Now we have an update to that story. The law authorities of Tampa ultimately were able to talk him out of staying on his boat, and he has moved to a shelter.
Okay.
So there you go.
Good for him.
But he had room for one more lady.
I love that.
If the boat is a-rocking, don't come a-knocking. Matt Baer, what's going on?
Looking at southbound 65. Stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian Penn and eastbound 70 slows at State Road 9 out to the Greenfield West area. Traffic sponsored by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit them in person or online at hondaoffishers.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
75 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And coming up next, this studio has never smelt better.
Great.
Oh, man. We've got Chef James Jones here, his place Eatery. They are an Indiana institution about to get some national attention. We'll talk about that next.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
When is the optimal time to file for Social Security? You know, it's not just about a specific age. This decision could needlessly trigger higher taxes on your benefits and higher taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals. You could even double your Medicare premiums. So if you don't consider all of these things, it could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We know and trust Bill, and you can too. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912. This is the one tool that could help you get the most income from Social Security, and it won't cost you a dime, even if you're not a client. Call 317-932-9912. That's Bill Demery at 317-932-9912.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, making sure your home is prepped for the fall weather, which could wreak havoc on your plumbing, specifically your sump pump. An efficient sump pump is crucial to keeping water out of your home, so making sure yours is working properly is a must. For October, my friends at Hope Plumbing are offering $150 off a new sump pump. That's $150 off a new sump pump that will keep your family safe and dry during this fall season. Call Hope Plumbing or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Here's what I've noticed when Nigel is out. Guy Roper only likes to fill in when it's Beer Sample Friday. And when I told Rob Kendall that his place Eatery was going to be here today, he said, I'll work the double shift. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall's in for Big Nige. Chef James Jones is here. His place Eatery. My man, what's up?
How you doing? Thanks for having me out.
Welcome back. You used to work in this building
I used to work
back in the day, right?
Yes. And, long time ago, back when this building was erected, I was here. So
you were the sales guy, right? Back in the day.
I worked in sales at WIBC for many years. I can't remember the total number right now. I think 8 or 9 years or something like that. So it was a long time.
So how does one go from sales at WIBC to having the awesome spread of food you have here and national TV exposure coming up this Friday?
Fate, but God. So basically I worked in sales and did some catering on the side, and just on a whim decided to go back to school, and I went to culinary school, and here at Ivy Tech. And as I finished up, had the opportunity to do His Place Eatery. So that's how we ended up here.
Look at the presentation here. Like when I make scrambled eggs, it looks like some concoction that should be institutionalized. But look, not only does it smell great, look at the presentation.
Well, we take pride in what we do, and you eat with your eyes first.
Yeah.
The first thing you do is you see the food. This is marketing 101. When people see the food, that's the very first impression that they get.
I kind of got the roving camera right now on YouTube trying to get all the awesomeness that you brought. Now, when we say national TV exposure for this Friday, you're going to be on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yes.
Is that the Guy Fieri show?
Yeah, it says Guy Fieri. I think it's season 40 or something. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, we're very, very excited, just very fortunate.
How did you end up getting on the show? How does that work?
Actually, for years, people had always told us that they were sending those guys messages for us to be on there. And from my understanding, it actually came from a referral from another local restaurant, Steer Inn, that was on it years ago.
Oh, I know the Steer Inn. Yeah.
Casey and his mom over there at Steer Inn, they referred us. And we just got a random email in December. We knew nothing about it. And they, asked us if we were interested in being in the show. And then you have to go through this kind of audition process where they go through your menu and they kind of pick some things and they kind of pitch you to the producers. And so through that process, probably a total of about 3 or 4 week process, we went through it and we didn't hear anything for weeks. So we thought, well, maybe it's not happening. And then out of nowhere, they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to be there in 2 weeks. So, yeah.
Now, where are you guys located at?
I had just the one location at 30th and Shadeland then. So we've been at 30th and Shadeland for about a little bit over 15 years. And then we just opened up our new location, our second location at 86th and Ditch Road, mid-July. So now we have 2 locations at 30th, one at 30th and Shadeland, one at 86th and Ditch Road.
I said yes because you were going to be here. And I know you asked our man, Indy Spanglish, Jerry Lopez first, and he had said, I got something going on. He's in the YouTube chat right now. He says, I should have stayed at the office instead of coming home. Facepalm. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
So this is going to be like the most pasty white guy thing to say. Is this considered soul food? Could I sound any more like Peyton Manning, like the whitest guy alive? But is this considered soul food?
This is considered soul food.
All right.
Yeah. So soul food, comfort food, home cooking. Nowadays, it's all very, very similar. The inception of soul food was a little bit different than that in the kind of the roots of soul food. But now we consider soul food, comfort food, home cooking, down home cooking. It's all like one homogenous area of food now. So,
and you were telling Rob and I during the commercial break, like your place has become so popular. People from Cincinnati are making orders for carryout. They're driving 90 minutes to come up here to get it and bring it back home.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just fortunate. And, we try to focus on doing the best that we can possibly do. Every single day, and we're human. So some days we're not at our best, and some days, we are. So, all in all, we want to be at our best way more than we're not. And so we're fortunate enough to have people that support us, and they will call in an order on their way up, and they pick up an order and head right back down to Cincinnati or places that are a little bit
you hear
further
that
away than where we're
Skyline
normal.
Chili? You hear that, big boy? Suck it. They're coming up here to Indy.
One of the things I love, Hammer, about James' story is like in the middle of his life, he's just like, I want to do this and I'm going to do this. And so many people think, when they hit their 30s or 40s, well, I'm stuck at what I'm doing, or this is who I am. And you said, no, you have this whole new life that you created for yourself.
Yeah, I was about 35 years old when I went back to school and went to culinary school. And it was a passion, that I just decided to just follow and see what happened. I had no plans at the time on opening up a restaurant. It was just something that I wanted to do. I was interested in, took classes at Ivy Tech, and lo and behold, this is what happened. So, there's no bad time.
Before Rob and I embarrass ourselves and start eating all of this awesome spread that you brought here, once again, tell people where you're at. How can they make an order, and what's coming up this Friday?
All right, so we have two locations. Our first location, which we call the OG location, is located at 30th and Shadeland. And then we have our newest location, which is located at 86 and Ditch. You can go to hisplaceeatery.com to get the hours and operation hours for both. There's different hours for each location, so you can check that out. You can check out the full menu.
How's the mac and cheese? Somebody in the YouTube chat wanted to know, how's the mac and cheese?
Well, I'm a little biased, so I think it's all great. So, so if you ask me, it's great. It's excellent. It's the best that we could come up with. So there you go.
Yeah, what's he going to tell you? It stinks.
Yeah, I know, right? No, you ought to try it and tell us what you think. How about that?
There we go. hisplaceeatery.com. Again, two locations on the east side, 30th Street at 6916, and on the north side, 86th Street, 1411 West 86th Street. Chef James, His Place Eatery. Look for them on Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri. Man, thanks for coming in and bringing all this.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys. And again, it was really surreal being back at the place where this probably all work all started.
Love it.
Well, if you're bringing this stuff, you can come back anytime you want, I tell you.
Okay.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jennifer McCormick backed Hillary Clinton for president. And when McCormick was in charge of education in Indiana, our schools ranked at the bottom. She even opposed school choice. Then McCormick backed Joe Biden for president and supported his $1 trillion spending scheme that caused all the inflation. Now she runs for governor on a plan that would increase your energy bills, create a new office of environmental justice, and ban gas stoves. Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal.
This is Mike Braun. Here's my plan for Indiana. I'll enforce immigration laws even when the federal government fails to act, keeping our streets safe and secure. And my plan lowers more costs. I'll cut property taxes, reduce energy bills, and expand parental choice and school voucher programs. Indiana needs strong leadership. We can get it done.
Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible. It's happening. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $69 a month for 24 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 10/27/24. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New 300 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard air dealer.
The owner is Chris Wenikin, and he sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is an extremely efficient and cost-effective way to heat and cool your space.
If you're looking to lower your carbon footprint and you're looking to try to get something that's more energy efficient that works well with solar panels or something like that, these are the perfect solution.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Getting out of harm's way. 73 degrees with mostly clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. A check of the radar comes up completely clear. 50 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Former South Bend Mayor and current Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says they're trying to find ways to help Floridians evacuate as efficiently as possible.
We're working through our Federal Highway Administration with Florida's DOT and local officials. Things like making sure that the shoulder can be used to effectively add a lane on I-4 or I-75.
Buttigieg talking with CNN. President Joe Biden says he's already been talking with local officials in the Sunshine State.
We've been in constant contact, and they've been very thankful and appreciative of the help the federal government is providing. And I'm appreciative of all they're doing as well. And I've told them to contact me with anything else they need. We have made available an unprecedented number of assets.
Milton is expected to reach Florida late tonight or early Thursday morning near the Tampa Bay area. At least 60 flights through Indianapolis have already been canceled today. That's according to FlightAware. Just about all of those have to do with Hurricane Milton. Someone who works for the post office has been accused of stealing mail. Here's John Herrick.
Police say Justin Crane was caught on surveillance video and later admitted to stealing cash and gift cards out of mail at the Indianapolis Processing and Distribution Center. The amount that he stole is close to $5,000. He has to pay a $5,000 fine now and serve 6 months of home detention. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Ever wonder why your electric bill is as much as it is? Andrew Liu, a Purdue engineer professor, says some of it goes towards maintaining the infrastructure of how to get your electricity.
Which is infrastructure maintenance, like mainly transmission distribution lines. The increase in cost is mainly due to their age. They're just getting older and cost more to maintain.
Liu says renewable energy sources could help in the future. He says wind and solar power in particular have become a cheaper option compared to traditional fossil fuels. And just because it's the preseason doesn't mean you can't enjoy the game, says Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle.
I thought the second half in particular was played at a very high level of intensity. For an exhibition game, preseason game is one of the most entertaining ones you're ever going to see.
Indiana lost that first preseason game by a point Tuesday night to the Atlanta Hawks. The two teams combined to score 260 points, make that 261. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We've recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what the heck do you have to lose? We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Call Ron or Terry at 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. That's rragency.org. A health plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:35. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at southbound 65, stop-and-go traffic from 21st Street down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 also stop-and-go from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month only at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, warm and wonderful for your Wednesday. We'll get up to 76 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, cool again, lows near 47. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tera Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with ROB Kendall.
Noise pollution.
I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, it's not Thursday.
That's right.
But I'm off the next couple of days. What's going on here at WIBC is we all have some vacation time we have to take, and we have to get it in before the election. So I'm going to be out for the next couple of days. So that means ROB Kendall's going to go off the rails on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Rob, how the heck are you?
Great. Thanks, as always, to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
And if you missed it earlier in the show, Chef James of his place Eatery brought in just a spread of food. It is so awesome. People are still in here eating right now.
I didn't eat all day waiting for this.
Rob, let's get into some topics here. Kamala Harris, she did a very Democrat-friendly media tour, okay? She spoke to The View. She did the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Oh.
She spoke with Howard Stern, who is one of the great liberal butt sniffers of our generation right now.
What happened to him?
I have no idea, but he is just the worst.
Remember, he used to be Mr. Independent, Libertarian, I hate everyone, man.
Well, Nigel makes a good point. Stern now, at his age, wants to be invited to these cool parties where all those people are at. So just like Stephen Colbert, he's got to get down and just sniff their butt. But let's be honest, the people Kamala spoke with, it's not like she's sitting down with Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or somebody like that. Very Democrat-friendly outlets, and somehow she still managed to screw it up.
Well, she has a terrible affliction, Hammer, and we shouldn't make light of it, but she's a moron. I mean, you have to be a legit, genuinely very stupid person to go on these sort of shows and still fail. I mean, that thing on The View where she got asked, hey, is there anything you do differently? When you're literally running against the Biden administration. I mean, they had previously found a way through mass hypnosis, the mainstream national media being an arm of the Democrat Party, to convince people like she was some sort of change when she was the vice president under Joe Biden.
She's currently in office right now.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's so much different. We're not going back. It's like, going back to what? But she's so stupid. I mean, she is a person who has she has no reason to be where she is other than she is a woman. And I guess for the purposes of Joe Biden, because she's been many different things, she is black. And that is why she's there. And when you get these DEI hires, these are the sort of people oftentimes that go in those positions.
And I want to get back to Kamala specifically in a moment, but boy, you just made a light bulb pop off above my head, Rob. It's amazing how many really just dumb people run our country.
Oh, totally.
And it's both sides of the aisle here. I'm not just, hitting on the Democrats here. Biden and Kamala are at the top of the food chain here. But look at some of these numbnuts Republicans, too. The people we choose to be the most powerful people in our country, some of these people are dumber than a box of rocks.
And it's at all levels. I mean, you're right. It's not just Democrat. I refer to it as playing whatever. They're playing government. Like, I will go to these local government meetings all the time, and I'll ask a very direct, easy-to-answer question. What are you trying to do here? What is your goal? What are you trying to do here? I'm going to think you suck regardless. But at least if I know what you're trying to do, I'll know by your own standard if you're succeeding or not. And you know what they do? They stare at you and go, because they have no idea. There's no vision. Kamala Harris is playing government. She's playing vice president. She's playing president of the United States, or wants to be playing president of the United States. And she's not good at any of it.
The whole point of this Dem-friendly media tour between Stern and Colbert and Call Her Daddy and The View was so she could really separate herself from Joe Biden and be this champion of women, somebody that's independent. Even though she's currently in office, she's the change candidate. But somehow, some way, She's the only person in America that got outsmarted by Sonny Hostin.
Well, she has no vision. She can't tell you what she's trying to do because they're taking it issue by issue, thing by thing. She's a shapeshifter. She'll fit into whatever box she needs to fit into in the moment for that to be the thing. And look at the condition of this country. Look at what has happened under Joe Biden. Look at what has happened under Kamala Harris. And one of the things that's interesting to me is she's so bad. I mean, that 60 Minutes thing was a train wreck. The Oprah thing was a train wreck, where even the people who are your friends, that poor guy on 60 Minutes was like, help. I mean, I can't.
Did you see Oprah's body language?
Right. I mean, the Sonny Hostin thing when she goes, nope, nothing I can think of. Here's what I said today on the air. When I was a kid, my grandfather grew up in Terre Haute, and he used to hitchhike up to Chicago. He had family up there, and he would see the Cubs and the White Sox play at Wrigley Field and Comiskey Park back in the 30s and 40s. And so I asked him one time, because he'd go to Comiskey Park and see the Yankees. I said, did you ever see Babe Ruth? And this is the most famous, greatest baseball player of all time. If you would remember one player, whether I saw him or didn't, it'd be Babe Ruth. And in his elderly age, sometimes he would look at me, and he would have this deer in the headlights look in the distance, and he would shake his head and go, I don't remember. But you remember seeing Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio. And when they asked Kamala Harris, is there anything you'd change? She got the identical look in her eyes, that deer in the headlights, look in the distance, shake the head and go, I don't know. How could you not think of one thing? People hate Joe Biden. They hate the country. He was doing so bad you had to remove him from office, and you don't have one thing you can think of that I would do that differently?
Rob Kendall joining us, going off the rails. Let's bring it a little closer to home here. So the Indy Star published this opinion article. Now, I get it's an opinion, right? It's just somebody's opinion, but the Indy Star chooses which opinions to put out there and highlight and to put on social media and to try to get people fired up. This is the headline of the opinion piece. Quote, Christian nationalist Micah Beckwith will rise to the top unless Indiana wakes up, Rob.
Well, every day they have some ridiculous piece about Micah Beckwith and what they act like. Because, look, I know. I go to church there. They act as though that if you were to go into Life Church at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, you would see a bunch of Nazi zombie cultists who, after the sermon is over, with Micah with his Hitler apparel on, take to the streets of Noblesville and threaten to take over the city.
They think Micah Beckwith Church is the Westboro Baptist Church people.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? It's a bunch of business leaders. It's civic people. It's community people. It's mothers. It's
people
fathers.
of faith.
It's hundreds and hundreds of people who are good and decent members of society. And we now live in a world that recoils because they hate faith. Some of it is demonic. Some of it is that these people just are taught to hate faith.
Is this really the world we live in, or is it just the echo chamber of social media, the few and the proud making the most noise?
Oh, no, there's tons of people who hate faith. They recoil at it. And Micah is a person who is devout in his faith. He does not hide from it. He tells you what the Bible actually says. Some people want to say, oh, well, no matter what I do, God will love me no matter what I do. And the reality is the Bible has very specific ways of living life. The Bible has very specific ways of how God views the world, and you don't get to do whatever you want to do. And just because Micah has the audacity to say, no, the reality is you don't get to do whatever you want to do. There are rules, there are regulations, for lack of a better term. People just lose their mind over it and act like he is everything he does is some sort of ist or phobe, but it doesn't move anybody. The lieutenant governor is not going to decide this election. It's Mike Braun and Jennifer McCormick, and because McCormick has nothing to offer anyone. They know she's a fraud. They know she's a phony. She claims she couldn't even remember she voted for Donald Trump in 2016. They have tried to make Micah Beckwith some sort of boogeyman, and it doesn't work, and it's pathetic.
My favorite part of this opinion piece is that Micah Beckwith will rise to the top unless Indiana wakes up.
Well, I love they're killing off Braun. Like James Briggs did this, and now they're doing it as though Braun is going to keel over dead tomorrow.
But apparently everybody at the Indy Star is just fine with Joe Hogsett having a massive sexual harassment scandal in his office that maybe he's covering up, and went missing during the riots. Like, to me, that seems like more of a wake-up call than a guy that believes in Jesus.
Yeah, and look, Micah don't care, and so it's, water off a duck's back with him. But I will tell you this, as having spent countless hours around Micah, he's a phenomenal human being. He's sweet, he's caring, he's loving. He has prayed with me, with my family, long before he's running for any public office, long before he had anything, to gain by being associated with me. He's just a great dude, and I hate the fact that because the guy is devout in his faith, and he's not apologetic for his faith, and he's not apologetic for what the Bible says, that they make him out to be some sort of monster.
We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall. Rob, we got about a minute left here. You got blocked. Speaking of the Indy Star, you got blocked by Indy Star sports writer Greg Doyle.
I have no idea why. I don't think I've ever interacted with the dude on social media. We rarely talk about him. He's a horrible writer. He's a huge reason that paper is totally in the toilet.
Now, just for those keeping score at home, this was the guy that creeped out Caitlin Clark to the point to where he could not cover the fever. And also, if memory serves me correctly, this was the guy that basically said in an article, I cheated on my wife, now give me sympathy.
He outed himself, and he was super creepy with a 22 or 23-year-old girl. Like, that's the only time I think we've ever even commented on the guy, because he's so relevant, his totally inappropriate behavior with Caitlin Clark, which, by the way, his employer thought the same thing. Remember how they, quietly suspended him, and he disappeared for a couple weeks?
Imagine being too over the top for the Indy Star.
Yeah, and then he didn't cover the fever, I don't think, anymore for the remainder of the year. I've never interacted with the guy, and he was feuding with Dan Dockich, or they were going back and forth like they usually are, and Dockich had retweeted something, and I thought, okay, let me see the thread. I'd like to read this, and it's like, you have been blocked by this person. I don't think I've ever even talked to the guy.
But he's blocked you on social media.
That'll show me. I'm going to block some guy I've never interacted with.
Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis. They're the best.
That's Rob Kendall. He's off the rails. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, I'm an American Standard customer. I have American Standard equipment installed in my house. In fact, I have an American Standard dealer coming out to my house to give it a thorough inspection before winter starts. If you need service on your HVAC, I recommend American Standard service. Hammer will tell you.
Oh, let's make some noise for our friends at Kirby Heating and Air. Kirby has been in the business well over 3 decades. Lloyd and Jessica Kirby, they're the founders of this great family-run business, and now their sons, Robert and Adam, are carrying on the tradition of excellent service. Kirby, serving Hendricks and the surrounding counties. The reason they chose to install American Standard? One word: quality. So if you need furnace service to get ready for the winter, contact Kirby, 892-3614, or visit kirbyheating.com. That's 892-3614. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Fellas, if you're not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. It affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Guys have different T levels. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Ask. There's a difference.
Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
If you recently lost health coverage due to a life change, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it was there for Marcus when he lost his job, and Keisha when she turned 26 and lost her parents' insurance, and Elena when she went off Medicaid. There are many other ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov today to see if you're eligible to enroll. Limited time to enroll. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Chris Whittakin here. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org for a free second opinion so we can keep you absolutely comfortable every day, all day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
All right, Matt Bear, what's up?
Eastbound 70 stop and go Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Inbound 65 stop and go 29th to Meridian, Penn. Construction on the west side going south. Southbound 465 slow from Rockville Road down to Sam Jones Expressway, and that should be done early Monday morning. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There's still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete. The patio experts, no subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here just a little bit after 4 o'clock, my old radio partner, Kelly McKay, who I worked with at WZPL for a long time, she is riding out the hurricane, but she's more inland. She's in Orlando, but that storm is still going to be a hurricane by the time it passes by. We'll check in with her, and we're going to find out why she made the decision to leave St. Pete to go to Orlando. Right now it's 75 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And Rob Kendall, let's do some Halloween stuff. Yeah! Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff. Krispy Kreme is rolling out 4 new Ghostbusters-themed donuts to celebrate the 40th anniversary this Halloween. This is a mix of Ghostbusters cookie and cream donuts, a Slimer donut, an Ecto sprinkled donut, and a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man pull-apart donut, Rob.
I saw a buddy who had these, and they look spectacular.
I like Krispy Kreme. I know it's a brand, like it's a national brand, and you should always go to your local baker, and I get that. But if I'm going national brand, a Krispy Kreme that's hot right off the roller, man, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, and they actually look cool. Like, obviously, you're going to eat them, but so much of it is, and we were talking with James when he was in here earlier about presentation of food. And I'll tell you what, these donuts and cookies and et cetera with the Ghostbusters theme look really cool.
So choose your own adventure, Rob Kendall, okay? So since we're talking about Ghostbusters and these special donuts coming out, do you want to hear the Huey Lewis and Ray Parker Ghostbusters mashup, which inspired a lawsuit, Fall Out Boy doing a cover of Ghostbusters, or the mashup of 9 Inch Nails with Ghostbusters?
Let's go with the first one.
So you want the mashup of Huey Lewis, I Want a New Drug, and Ghostbusters, which, again, this caused a lawsuit. We've mashed these together. I can see why there was a lawsuit. Top stories coming up next.
My man Mark Dietel and his his team, the only real estate experts I'd trust to sell my home and find me a new one. How about Ray in Indy? Needed to move in a hurry. He was out the door into a new house, but left with the problem of selling the old house, and then you got the 2 mortgage payments. Heard about Mark Dietel on our show, and he was ecstatic when Mark sold the house for the price he needed in 2 days on the market.
Mark Dietel is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
You need better water, really. Why don't you call C&J Water today for a free water analysis and see why you need better water? When you do, you'll get a 10% discount on all C&J Water products to improve your water quality today. For better skin and hair, you don't need a different shampoo, detergent, or lotion. You need better water. Now's a great time to upgrade. Call C&J Water for great systems and great people too. 317-733-SOFT. That's 317-733-SOFT.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah.
Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah.
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Fox News. More than 80,000 outages reported as Hurricane Milton also spawns tornadoes. Still hours away from landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast, with officials making a final plea for residents under evacuation orders to leave.
South of Tampa and Sarasota is coastal Charlotte County, Florida, where residents like Patty Lane boarded up her home in Punta Gorda before leaving.
The plan is to just go to some friends and
stay and wait for it to pass.
And Emergency Manager Patrick Fuller says leaving is a good idea because shelter availability in Charlotte County is an issue depending on how much surge comes in.
Fox's Eben Brown, the entire Tampa Bay region and areas south of it considered at grave risk. President Biden accusing former President Trump of leading what he calls an onslaught of lies about the federal response to Hurricane Helene. But the former president not backing away from his criticism of the response to Helene, especially in hard-hit North Carolina, and blaming Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's just led the worst rescue operation in history in North Carolina. The worst.
He's in Scranton, the president's childhood hometown, holding the first of two Pennsylvania rallies planned for today. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell is in North Carolina.
We've been on the ground since before the storm happened, and just because somebody didn't see a person in a FEMA shirt doesn't mean that they weren't getting support. This is a true whole of community response.
Criswell also just telling Fox News her agency is currently supporting recovery efforts in more than 100 disasters across the U.S. Wall Street rallies. The Dow up 431 points to a new record. The S&P also finishing at a new high, and the NASDAQ up more than 100. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're getting help from the Hoosier State. 75 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Radar comes up clear when you look at it. 50 is about where your low settles tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 402. About 400 members with the Indiana National Guard are on their way to help with hurricane relief. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Governor Holcomb says the soldiers will clear roads, manage shelters, and hand out supplies in parts of Florida. The soldiers are from Terre Haute, New Albany, Lawrence, and Gary. They'll also work with federal agencies to manage Milton's response, which is the second large storm to hit the area in 2 weeks. Members from Indiana Task Force 1 and AES Indiana will also help people in Florida where needed. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former South Bend Mayor and current Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg tells CNN they're trying to make it easier for people to evacuate Florida.
We're working through our Federal Highway Administration with Florida's DOT and local officials. Things like making sure that the shoulder can be used to effectively add a lane on I-4 or I-75.
Buttigieg says not everyone has to go to great lengths to find a safe place to go. In some cases, finding a place to stay just a few miles up the road can be enough. Hurricane Milton could reach Tampa Bay as early as tonight. If you're missing any gift cards that were supposed to come through the mail, police believe Justin Crane may have had something to do with that. He works for the post office and has admitted now to stealing cash and gift cards out of the mail at the Indianapolis Processing and Distribution Center. Crane took nearly $5,000 and has been fined that same figure, along with 6 months of home detention. Part of the reason your electric bill could have gone up has something to do with how old the tech is.
Which is infrastructure maintenance, like mainly transmission distribution lines. The increase in cost is mainly due to their age. They're just getting older and cost more to maintain.
Purdue engineering professor Andrew Liu says renewable energy sources would be a cheaper option. That includes wind and solar powered sources. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Lynn just hates painting in the fall, so she called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Formulated for our specific climate here in Indy and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We truly believe in this product.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Some tactical difficulties in the new studio, but Matt Bear, traffic, how's it going?
Love them. Looking to southbound 65 stop-and-go traffic from MLK down to Meridian Penn. Northbound 65 also slow from North Split up to 21st Street. On the west side, southbound 465 stop-and-go traffic from Rockville Road down to Sam Jones Expressway because of construction blocking 2 left lanes. That should be done. coming up early Monday morning. Also looking at northbound 65 in the Pike, slow before 86th Street and eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance with Allstate? You could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's going to be a low of 50 tonight. Skies are clear at the moment, and it's going to stay that way later. Currently about 70 degrees and all sunshine on the circle. I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer and Nigel.
Do you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Hey, now. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out recovering from anal warts, but Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. #1 Kendall and Casey Show in the midday. Thank you for filling in, Rob.
No anal warts here. Our show is anal. Well, I don't know about Casey, but one half of the show is anal warts free.
Federal Highway Administration with Florida's DOT and local officials.
We got some background
Things like
noise
making
here.
Sure that the
And it's Pete Buttigieg popped in right as we were talking about the anal warts.
Boy, you can't script that. I don't know how we make the transition from that to the person we've got standing by on the hotline, but my old radio partner from my ZPL days is Kelly McKay. She lives down in Florida. Kelly, how are you, love?
Well, I'm certainly anal wart free, so maybe that's the transition. I just have to get in on that. But no, I'm hanging in there, living the dream.
Now, you normally live Gulf side over by St. Pete. You chose to evacuate and go a little bit more inland to Orlando area, right?
Yes, I did, and it's really tough. People don't understand. We see all the posts on Facebook. What are those people stupid waiting so long to leave? And it's really hard when a storm is coming. And we had a hurricane a week ago. We've been dealing with hurricanes since the end of September. And there's an if, when, and where when you're planning and preparing for a hurricane, because you don't want to leave too soon, because where you evacuate to, the storm might follow you there. And there's just so much to consider. What areas are flood proof and flood zone prone? It's a tough call, but yes, I did evacuate to Orlando, which is also going to get nailed, but less so than St. Pete.
Did you get a lot of damage from Helene? Now, Helene,
oh my God, yeah.
It caused some storm flooding, some storm surge in the Tampa area, even though you guys were not a part of the direct line, but it seemed like the flooding was really bad during Helene.
Well, and that's what's so bizarre about storm surge. And the way that storm went up to the Panhandle, kind of in the Big Bend area, the surge shoved right into us. And we only had, this is what's weird, between 6 and 8 feet on the bay. The Gulf side had a little bit more, but oh my God, the devastation was mind-boggling. People within a mile and a half of the water, whether I'm talking about Tampa Bay or the Gulf of Mexico, both, look either direction along the coast there. And in St. Pete, in Tampa, thousands and thousands of people lost everything. Their cars, motorcycles. We had just begun doing demo on houses to take them to the studs. I have 20 friends who are in this boat, who are in temporary housing. One of them is living with me, and then this happens. So we're dealing with Helene cleanup. There's debris everywhere, and now Milton's coming, or is here, really. And all those items, their couches, everything they own is outside on the yard. They're projectiles. It's a bad situation.
Kelly, one of the things I don't think, and maybe you can expand on this, that people realize inside of a hurricane, because obviously we have tornadoes here, but inside of this monstrous storm with all these just unfathomable amounts of water, there are actually tornadoes that we experience here inside of a hurricane.
Yeah, and that's part of why when you're evacuating, it's really tough to know where to go. And the governor even says, you don't have to go far, just go somewhere other than the A, B, and C zones. You could stay in town. But the tornadoes are everywhere. They're very widespread throughout the state during a storm. And before a storm comes, the airport's shut down 2 days prior. The bridge is shut down a day before. So really, most people only have a choice to just drive 15 minutes away from where they are. So yes, my cousin is down in Sebring. She's had 3 tornadoes today. Another cousin's up by USF in Tampa. There's been a warning there. We're in Orlando. There's just been a watch or a warning because my brother-in-law is a ham radio guy, and alarms are going off like crazy. So I think the total so far, just in the past couple of hours, is like 24 warnings or watches.
Do you guys have like all the things on the windows boarded up like that we see on the news? Is that what you do when you're inland, or is that just something that happens on the coast?
That's mostly the coast. Now, a lot of the people who lost their homes on the bay side of St. Pete and in South Tampa, they had their construction guys who were planning to renovate their house board up the windows because we're not used to that kind of damage there. And with these high winds, they just didn't want to have to deal with losing their windows when they already lost everything else. But, yeah, those shutters, boarding up is very common if you're within a mile of the water, a mile from where impact's coming. Here in Orlando, no. But in my condo in St. Pete, I have hurricane windows and a slider, but when I get home, I might not have a roof.
Wow. When do you plan to go back home?
Well, it's the storm's making impact, I say in the next several hours. It's making landfall. So the worst will be over by morning, and I just have to find out what roads are open, how flooded is my area, because I'm about a mile from the bay. And I was just 2 blocks from where people started losing all their belongings from Helene. So I just need to make sure it's safe to go home. And the minute it is, I want to go. Whether we have power or not, doesn't matter, because I want to be able to assess, do I have a roof? Is anything damaged? If so, I have to file a claim right away. Because right now, I'm not lying, hundreds and thousands of people were affected by Helene. It's like, get in line to get an adjuster.
Kelly, is one of the, if there is a silver lining in this, that oftentimes with these hurricanes, the damage that gets done is if a storm begins to spin, it doesn't move, it sits.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And this storm at least looks like it's going to just go straight through.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing. Helene was not a rainmaker. We got all that devastation from the surge, and it wasn't even a big surge. So this one is a rainmaker. So flood-prone areas, they're going to flood. And the quicker this sucker moves, the better. We've got really damaging winds, and the worst of the surge is going south of where it makes landfall. And we really hope we get minimal surge because we can't afford more of that flooding and loss of homes.
Chatting with Kelly McKay, longtime radio host here in Indianapolis, living down in Florida now, living in St. Pete, but decided to evacuate to Orlando. Kelly, last thing before we let you go, are you one of these people that have the hurricane parties? Like when you lock everything up, board everything up, get the booze out, and just get after it?
Oh, yeah. I did that for Irma. And at first, it was a really great decision. We felt really good about it because my friend Mike, he's one of the people in a non-evacuation zone. So people in those zones are told not to leave. You are supposed to shelter in place. You're supposed to shutter your windows and stay because the governor needs you off the road so the rest of us who have to leave can leave. So my buddy Mike, non-evacuation zone, concrete block house, we're having a time. It's so great. Then Irma takes a turn right for us, and Mike says, Kelly, I know we'll live because of my concrete block house, but because the roof isn't up to code for hurricanes, we might be brain damaged.
Oh, no.
So that's when it was like, oh, God, what did we do? So the minute I saw the size of Milton, and it was supposed to go right for St. Pete, where I live, I'm like, I got to beat feet.
Right.
I'm out.
Well, Kelly, be careful, be safe. We're thinking of you, praying for you guys. And if you need anything, let us know, okay?
I will for sure. Thanks so much.
You got it. That is Kelly McKay. I worked with her for a number of years here in Indianapolis over at WZPL. I was her Rob Kendall, like if she were Chicks on the Right.
Yeah.
I was the producer, but I was obnoxious. And, had a good time with Kelly.
I was over there while she was there for a while. I used to follow her around in the most uncreepy way possible in the halls for a while.
Right. As Rob Kendall would say, she was well assembled. Real quick before we hit a break here, Rob, today, if you need a reason to drink, it's National Stop Bullying Day. Today's the day where we're supposed to put a stop to all bullying taking place. So that got me thinking. Who are the Mount Rushmore of movie bullies?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you watch movies in the 80s, especially the 80s, it seems like bullies were in every single movie.
Sure.
So this is my list. Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you have a different list. The Mount Rushmore of movie bullies. Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Debo from Friday. Now, this one's controversial. Johnny Lawrence from The Karate Kid, William Zabka's character. Because I think a case could be made that the real bully was Ralph Macchio,
right?
Daniel's son.
He moved down there.
Tried to steal his girl, ruined his radio, got his weed wet, just created chaos like a bully does. So a case could be made that Daniel's son was the real bully, but for argument's sake, we're going to go with Johnny Lawrence. And last, but certainly not least, from Weird Science, Chet.
Dude, buttwad. How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray? Hey, that looks pretty good. Now make yourself one. Weed.
That's my Mount Rushmore.
I can't believe you didn't have Ogre on there.
See, I thought about Ogre, and Revenge of the Nerds is my favorite movie.
I'm shocked.
But who do I cut?
Well, it's true.
Is it Johnny Lawrence because he's really not the bully? He's the victim in The Karate Kid? Do I put Ogre in that spot? But other than that, is there anybody else you would replace?
Well, I'm a 90s kid. You're an 80s kid. And the one that stood out to me that was a great bully, it's somewhat of an obscure movie unless you were a kid in the 90s, was the movie Little Giants.
Oh, Rick Moranis and Al Bundy.
Yeah, Ed O'Neill. And the dad, Hammersmith's dad, Brian Haley is the guy's name. And there's this guy who moves in to play football, and his dad is this total meathead who's bullying all the other parents and kids, and is like Mr. Intense parent man.
Right.
And I thought he would be pretty good.
Is that the same guy in Gran Torino?
Oh yeah.
That's one of Clint Eastwood's kids that doesn't get the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, get the YouTube chat rocking and rolling. Let us know who you would put on there. Oh, Jim chimes in. Niedermeyer from Animal House.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a great one right there. And by the way, if you're going to be at the YouTube chat, hit that thumbs up. We got to get to 100 thumbs up, or Nick from the digital department will come in here and do something inappropriate to Allison. If you want to save Allison, you need to hit the thumbs up on the YouTube chat. Allison's life depends on it. WIBC's YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We need about 45 more. Matt Bear.
Inbound 65, stop and go. MLK to Meridian Penn, 9 minutes on the delay. West side southbound 465, stop and go in parts through the construction from Rockville Road down to Sam Jones Expressway. Roadway reduced to 2 lanes. Looking at northbound 65 out of the north split slow to West Street, and northbound 465 on the northwest side tied from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We've got an ace from Stand By Me weighing in here on greatest bullies in movie history. Hit us up on Twitter at Hammer and Nigel, or at Rob M. Kendall, or the WIBC YouTube chat. Right now, Sunshine 75. Is This Anything? Next.
Man, I love the way my brand new Galaxy concrete garage floor looks. Those guys did an amazing job. They were in and out within a day. My old garage floor was dirty and gross and cracked, and their amazing staff came in and within a day made it look brand new. It's not epoxy, by the way. It's better and 4 times stronger. I spend a ton of time out in my garage, and my new Galaxy concrete garage floor is out of this world. Check out their website and see pictures and get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office at 317-751-9070.
Jennifer McCormick backed Hillary Clinton for president. And when McCormick was in charge of education in Indiana, our schools ranked at the bottom. She even opposed school choice. Then McCormick backed Joe Biden for president and supported his $1 trillion spending scheme that caused all the inflation. Now she runs for governor on a plan that would increase your energy bills, create a new Office of Environmental Justice, and ban gas stoves. Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal.
This is Mike Braun. Here's my plan for Indiana. I'll enforce immigration laws even when the federal government fails to act, keeping our streets safe and secure. And my plan lowers more costs. I'll cut property taxes, reduce energy bills, and expand parental choice and school voucher programs. Indiana needs strong leadership. We can get it done.
Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models, certified, luxury, even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah.
Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah?
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll. Rob Kendall is in for Big Nige. Rob, is this anything? There's a survival expert, this conservationalist who posted on Instagram about how tough it is to do camping in the Amazon.
Right now, my tent is being dismantled by leafcutter ants. It's about 2 a.m. and I've been trying to sleep, and there's about 10 million leafcutter ants outside of this tent, cutting leaf-size holes out of my tent. They're opening up holes big enough for me to put my fist through, which means everything else in the Amazon is coming into my tent. I just woke up because there's a leafcutter ant using its pincer jaws to bite my ear to try and carry off a piece. And inside this tent right now are ants and termites and mosquitoes, some sort of centipede, hoppers, moths, and some insects that I can't even identify. If you get out of the tent, you're going to get destroyed by mosquitoes. It's raining outside. You're going to get wet. This is what camping in the wild is. Sometimes you put your tent in the wrong place, and the leafcutter ants and the gods of the jungle decide it's going to be the worst night ever.
That anything?
Yeah, he's an idiot. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you willfully do that to yourself?
Well, maybe he's trying to show the masses how dangerous it is there. I'm a professional, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to be all right. But don't ever think about camping out in the Amazon.
What person, so you're getting ready to go on vacation. When you and your wife were pondering where to go, were either one of you raising your hand going, gee, honey, maybe we should go camp in the Amazon this year?
No, that never crossed our minds, Rob.
Yeah, no, it doesn't for most normal people. And if it does cross your mind, then you deserve whatever you get.
Is this anything? A woman in Washington called the police when her property was invaded by more than 100 raccoons. They were closing in on her, and she feared for her life. But here's the thing. She had been feeding the raccoons in her neighborhood for over 35 years.
Yeah.
Here's a spokesperson for the sheriff's office and part of the 911 call.
She felt that the raccoons were threatening. This is something you don't see every day.
35 years ago, you first started feeding some raccoons, and then when all of a sudden did it explode like this?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
They were shocked. They had never seen that many raccoons in one place.
I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with raccoons. I even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling with a raccoon.
That anything?
Well, it's something in the sense of I hope the police didn't come and just let her figure it out on her own. Because, gee, who would think if you would feed wild, uncontrolled, potentially rabid animals that they would just show up en masse? If you do stupid things like that, you should deserve to suffer and figure it out for yourself.
Do you have any critters like that come into your backyard or anything?
Yeah, here's the deal. There's a lady 2 houses down from me. My neighbor Scott on the other side, he's awesome. He is Mr. Meticulous Lawn Man. But the lady next to him, her backyard is like a jungle. And all of these raccoons and everything else, they snake down the street from her unfettered jungle.
And I don't know about the raccoons that you see, but we have this one big fat bastard that comes in our backyard, right? And you've been to our backyard. It's kind of a big backyard. Yeah. He's fearless. Like, it's like the Barry Bonds steroid-induced raccoon. And normally, like, you go outside, and if there's a mole or a cat or whatever, they get scared and they run off. This raccoon throws his hands up like he wants to go. Like he's Doughboy in Boys in the Hood. Like, he's not scared at all.
Here's the problem I have is I have a dog that is dumber than a box of rocks, and he has no concept of what to engage with or not engage with. So if you let your dog out at 11 o'clock at night, you got to scour the property, and it's because this lady is too lazy to, I mean, she's got a forest growing in her backyard. In suburban central Indiana, this lady has a forest growing in her backyard.
And I'm telling you, the raccoons are becoming more fearless. The fat guy in my backyard, I'm pretty sure he flipped me off the other day. Like, he's fearless. He does not care. All right. We're going to do something that I think people have been wanting to do for a long time.
Oh, no.
Caller roulette with Rob Kendall. So if you've got a problem with Rob, if you've got a beef with Rob, if you want to roast and yell at and berate Rob Kendall, put up or shut up. Let's go. Come on. 239-9393. Now, you could yell at Rob or you could yell at me. You could hit on Allison. It's anything goes. All we ask is your name, and we ask you politely, please do not swear and be brief. Those are the only rules, right? We're not going to screen out your call. Just going to get your name. But if you're somebody
Don't be calling, Mom!
Right. If you got a problem with Rob or me, or maybe you want to talk about how awesome Allison is, 239-9393, caller roulette. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If you want to buy a home, if you want to sell a home, maybe you want to do both. Mark Dietl's the only guy I'd trust, real estate expert. How about Mark from Danville? Finished building his new perfect home out of state and needed out of his current place quick. And he needed a big price. Mark Deedle and his team delivered. His house sold in 3 days on the market over asking price.
Mark Deedle is the only real estate agent that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because of the guarantee. The guarantee is a game changer. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Deedle today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com.
Hey, it's autumn, and if you want to hit the road here the last half of the year, don't exactly know what you want to do or where you want to go, you join AAA. As a member, you get free travel planning plus the best available pricing for your trip. And, of course, all the roadside assistance available.
AAA Hoosier Motor Club members get free travel planning help, plus discounts on hotels, cruises, rental cars, and more. AAA travel agents will make sure you get the best price on that fall vacation. Plus, if you run into trouble anywhere on the road this fall, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas, lock your keys in the car. AAA has got you 24/7, 365, no matter where you are. So if you're not a member right now, become a member today. You're going to be glad you did. 844-GO, AAA-GO, or visit AAA.com, or stop by your local AAA office. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It needs to be taken seriously. Skies mostly clear, 75 degrees downtown. No rain to be concerned with on your radar. Low of about 50 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. Hurricane Milton, it's no joke, says Vice President Kamala Harris.
This hurricane poses an extreme danger, and we urge everyone in Florida to take extreme caution. And we are with you. And we will get through this together.
Milton's on track to reach Tampa Bay tonight or early Thursday morning. It's been downgraded to a Category 3 at the moment. Still going to have consistent wind speeds north of 100 miles per hour. President Joe Biden says there's no place for storm misinformation.
It's undermining confidence in the incredible rescue and recovery work that has already been taken and will continue to be taken. It's harmful to those who need help the most.
Some Republicans have made claims that FEMA funds are going to illegal immigrants and not those who need help with hurricane recovery. The White House has said that's not true. Those who are in Hurricane Milton's path need to hit the roads, says former South Bend Mayor and current Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
By far the most important thing to know is if you're under evacuation orders, get out. Listen to those who are warning you in areas where it's not safe.
Buttigieg talking with CNN. The Indiana National Guard is about 400 people headed to Florida to help out. Breaking the seal of an envelope. John Herrick reports on an accused thief working for the post office.
Court documents say Justin Crane opened numerous greeting cards and took cash and gift cards out of the mail that came out to be about $5,000 over the course of a few months at the Indianapolis Processing and Distribution Center. Police say when he was interviewed, he admitted to stealing the money out of the mail. He has 6 months of house arrest, followed by 3 years of probation, and he has to pay a $5,000 fine. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Pacers bench impressed their head coach in the team's first preseason game against Atlanta last night.
Second unit got hit early, and then they responded really well. I think it went 9-2 to start the second quarter. That was a real positive. Mathurin, Walker, Obi, TJ, and Shep, those guys did a good job.
Rick Carlisle said it was an exciting finish, even if the Pacers lost, according to the scoreboard, by a point, 131-130, the final in Atlanta. The stock market's up today. The Dow up by 431 to 42,412. The Nasdaq increasing by 108 to 18,291. The S&P 500 up by 40 to finish the day at 5,792. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:35.
Halloween is quickly approaching. You might be busy decorating your home with spooky sights, from witches and brooms to sheet ghosts and pumpkins. But what if something troubling is hiding right beneath your feet? You may notice signs in your home, from nasty smells, mold or mildew in your crawl space, cracks on your interior or exterior walls, leaks or standing water, sticking doors or windows, heightened or worsening allergies and asthma even when you're indoors, pests or bugs, uneven, sagging or bouncy floors, drainage issues. It's time to schedule an appointment for Indiana Foundation Service's trained and certified field inspectors to stop by and check out what might be causing the problem. They're here to calm your fears. Visit IndianaFoundation.com now to book your free inspection with no obligation quote included. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
The traffic at 436. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at inbound 65, 11-minute delay to go from MLK to Meridian Ped. Eastbound 70, stop and go Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. We have a report of somebody getting hit by a car downtown. This is Washington Street at Alabama. Looking at the west side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic from west at 10th down to Washington Street. That is a construction zone until early Monday morning. And then we look at eastbound 465 on the south side, pockets of slow. Kentucky Avenue over 231. Northeast side eastbound of 465, stop and go. Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month only at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, warm and wonderful for your Wednesday. We'll get up to 76 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, cool again, lows near 47. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tera Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Buckle up. Anything can happen here.
Oh, hell yeah. Let it ride. Let it ride.
Hammer and Nigel present Caller Roulette.
Of all the caller roulettes we've ever done, today's has the opportunity to go completely off the rails. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. That's good stuff.
I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is filling in for Big Nige. Producer Allison, do we have the dump button ready? Thumbs up. All right. So again, you guys know the rules. Keep it brief. Keep it clean. I'm looking at our phone bank, Rob. I don't see Destiny calling in just yet. Maybe a little bit later. But let's start with Dennis. Dennis, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What do you got?
Hammer, good to see you again, hear from you again. Hey, now that you got Rob there, I'm going to follow up on the T-shirt that I gave you a month ago. Let's see what Rob thinks. You and Nigel's face on the booby area of a T-shirt saying, "Can you believe these weirdos?" You know, that your intro sign there. I think that would be great. Then on the back, I hate Rob Kendall. I love Rob Kendall in 3D mode so that everybody can go buy it. That's my thought on that. The other day you talked about Corey Compatore, the firefighter that died. You called that a fire suit. It's actually called bunker gear. The reason it's called bunker gear is when firefighters slept in their bunk and the alarms went off, they hopped right into it, down to the trucks they went.
All right, thank you, Dennis. So, Rob, apparently Dennis thinks that I'm made out of gold and made out of money, and I can make 3D shirts on the front and back with multiple pictures. Like, we could do that, but it's going to cost you about $200 a shirt. What do you think, Rob?
Oh, man, and boy, you know everything guy. Aren't they just the best? You should do this shirt. I can't believe you didn't know it was called a bonkers. Oh, what an idiot.
I don't think he was being mean. I think he was just correcting me.
Well,
that's all.
Yeah.
Ray is up next. Ray, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to compliment you guys. You guys are great guys. You're fun to listen to on the ride home. Allison's a doll. She's a sweetie. I only pray for her having to deal with you two. With that being said, the only thing that I got a beef with would be Hammer.
Uh-oh.
And Hammer, you are buddies with Kenny Britt, so I'm just going to leave it there.
Wow.
Or handicapper on the NFL edition of our podcast, The Degenerates Next Door, is Kenny Britt of KB Sports. And Kenny's kind of like you, Rob. He's unlikable.
Yeah.
He's brash. He's a little fatter than you are.
Yeah.
But you guys have a lot of the same characteristics.
Thank you. He's a big, hairy American.
And he's a winning machine.
That's right.
Just like you have been on our podcast.
That's correct.
Tom is up next. Tom, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, good afternoon to two of my favorite personalities, both I've met, the Southside Tom, and I worked in broadcasting for over 25 years. I never was made out of gold either, so believe me, I'm on the same page with you guys. Oh, Lord, am I ever. But I got one big question, and I think this might have been wink, maybe some broadcasting passes, but how did the both of you ever get to see all these movies you talk about? Oh, Lord, I can't afford to go to a movie, and here you're quoting lines from these movies left and right, or is it the secret of the Internet? I'm curious to know.
So the movies that we quote mainly are movies that we grew up with, right? And I think that's true of most people. So when I was a kid, I grew up when HBO just became a thing. So all of these movies like Revenge of the Nerds and Porky's and all that kind of stuff, those raunchy 80s movies went to HBO, and my parents both worked, so they dropped me off at my grandparents. So the people that raised me were Harry Carey and Steve Stone, because the Cubs were on every single day on WGN. And then later on in the evening, I'd watch all these movies on HBO.
Remember as a kid when you'd go through the TV guide or your local paper would have the TV schedule, and what a big deal it was if your favorite movie was on. I mean, it's like on everywhere now because of the apps and the streaming services, but it used to be a big deal. You'd plan it out. Like I remember my old man like highlighting things throughout the week that were going to be on, that we were going to...
3 weeks, E.T. is on, Rob. Mark your calendar.
And remember the tape, the idea of the VHS tape, where you'd tape an event if you wanted to watch it?
And if you were really an outlaw, you would tape Monday Night Football, because maybe you couldn't stay up that late without the express written consent of the NFL. Yeah, I'm a bit of an outlaw myself. Joe is up next. Joe, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Afternoon, guys.
Hey.
You know, we got the elections coming up here, and politicians are wanting everybody's vote, but, you know, majority of these politicians are attorneys of some sort. So I got a good lawyer's joke.
Bring it.
What does an attorney get taking Viagra?
What?
Taller.
Rick is up next. Rick, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, we just wanted to say we really enjoy Robin Casey in the morning.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Rick. We appreciate you.
Go ahead, Rick.
Have a wonderful day. Good night. Bye.
Who was that?
It was John Fetterman. Hi, good night, everybody.
It sounded like a woman's voice.
I think a woman popped in there.
What's Rick doing? I don't know. Maybe he was taking the advice of the previous joke. I have no idea. Larry, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show, Larry.
Hammer, what does the meaning of I hate Rob Kendall mean to you when you scrape the bottom of the barrel to get him on your show? How desperate can you be? And what about Katz? He's got 2 radio shows, and he's syndicated. What's up with you two? Can't you guys get a second show and even get syndicated? AI Larry, out.
I think it was Tony Cat's burner. As for the syndicated show, but I'm happy with my #1 rated afternoon drive program that was named #1 in America. I'm just fine doing Outkick hits every single week on a national platform. I'm pretty good doing Newsmax, Fox News interviews. I'm all right with that, man. It's good for me.
And here's the deal. We have these things we call families. And Tony Katz is fine if his kid grows up to be a Harry Chapin song. I am not dealing with that with my kid. I'm going to be home.
And as for Rob Kendall being the guest host today, we pointed this out earlier. I asked like 7 people before Rob, and nobody could do it.
Totally.
It was either Rob or Abdul. And I don't think anybody wants to hear that. Good God. Patrick is up next. Patrick, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, love you guys. Rob, just wanted to give you a heads up. You really need to watch Bruce if he's out back and there's raccoon around because they are notorious for attacking and killing dogs.
See?
Ooh.
This lady who flat out just refuses to do anything with her grass, and she's got literal trees growing in her backyard. I mean, I'm not talking like legitimate, like I have an oak tree. They're like trees that grew out of the ground at some point, and there's all these animals, and it's crap that you won't keep up your grass to the point where I got to worry about whether a raccoon's going to kill my dog.
All right, I got time for one more, and this is totally going to be blind because we have no idea who this person is on the other side of the phone bank. Allison hasn't even picked it up yet. So, Allison, let's just take it blind. Caller, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. It's Caller Roulette. What's on your mind? Turn your radio down.
Yeah, I got a new segment.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is Richard. How about an Ask Allison Anything?
Ask Allison anything.
I'm going to go and veto that one. Thanks for the call, Rick.
We kind of have that segment, but it happens during commercial breaks, and that's why Nigel and I have had to go to HR. And thank you so much for all of your calls. That's how we do Caller Roulette.
So, yeah, if you're feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, you're gaining weight, you're losing muscle mass at the same time, these could all be signs of low testosterone, and you should not wait to find out. At Low T Center, they make it really easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple test with their on-site lab. You'll get the results back right there.
So be honest. Have you thought, at least thought, about taking some weight loss medication? If you have, contact the Low T Center. The Low T Center is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. Yes, they specialize in testosterone, but they can also screen you for some cancers. They can see if you have sleep apnea, and you could get your health evaluated for weight loss medications. The Low T Center. Contact them today. At least set up an appointment. LowTCenter.com. That's LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's starting to be fall in Indiana, the perfect time to tackle home projects you've been putting off before winter arrives. With Moss Roofing by your side, you don't have to do it alone. They're ready to assist with your roofing and siding needs, ensuring your home is safe and ready for the holidays. Let Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, give your home a serious glow-up with premium James Hardy siding, tough enough to face Indiana's wild weather and stylish enough to turn heads on your block. And the best part, their free inspections come with a 3D design preview so you could see your home's stunning makeover before the work begins. Contact Moss Roofing for a job done right every single time at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com, or call 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 317-747-3665. That's 747-3665. Or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. And don't forget, tell them Tony Cat sent you.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through October 10th, get fast, reliable 150 megabit Xfinity internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract with free Wi-Fi equipment included. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with Xfinity Mobile. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless bill and an auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Planes, trains, automobiles, and motorcycles. If you've spent a lot of time working or playing around loud vehicles, you may have trouble hearing on the telephone. Get back in gear with Relay Indiana, providing telephone accessibility to the hard of hearing. Relay Indiana allows hearing-impaired callers to have normal phone conversations through voice recognition technology. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Add clarity back in your phone conversations. Get the CapTel captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
This is Chris Wedigan with Absolute Comfort. Go to absolutecomfort.org to find out how dual fuel systems can keep you absolutely comfortable all day, every day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
JMV, the big fall sale continues at Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. 20 to 50% off trees and shrubs, 30% off in-stock patio furniture. State Road 135 in Bargersville.
There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts, changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
Join WIBC this Saturday for the Home and Garden Show live from Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone from 9 to 1 for their perennials, trees, and shrub clearance with Sullivan Hardware and Garden and 93 WIBC.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Westbound 70 coming out of downtown towards the airport. That's a crash after West Street, blocking the center lane, causing stop traffic back into the south split for a 9-minute delay. That's also jamming up southbound 6570 from the north to the south split. Looking at southbound 65, stop and go traffic, MLK to Meridian Penn. Inbound 70 slows, traveling into the north split. Delay continues up to 21st Street. Construction on the west side, southbound 465, stop and go after 10th down to Sam Jones Expressway. Roadway reduced to 2 lanes until early Monday morning. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
His microphone's broke. I'm Rob Kendall. Jason Hammer feverishly pressing buttons. It's the Hammer Nigel
Here we go. 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Let's do Damn Nature, You Scary.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you suppose we'll meet any wild animals?
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Have some fun.
The dingo ate your baby.
And now Hammer and Nigel proudly presents
Damn nature, you scary.
Lions.
And tigers. And bears.
Oh, my.
Everything is broke around here. Everything. From the drive we use to prepare the show to the buttons to the headphones, everything is broke around here.
Yeah, we had no audio, ability to play audio today on our show. I told Spanglish, I said, we're going to earn our money today, and we did like 3 segments just winging it because there was no audio to play whatsoever.
We're going to get to the point where it's just Rob and I taking 2 tin cans and a string on one of the biggest, most powerful flame-throwing radio stations in America.
And whenever things break, they're like, yeah, next week we'll get around to that.
It's got to restart. Well, when's that going to be? Tomorrow?
Wish you the
best. Damn Nature, You Scary. Dateline San Francisco. This is from the paper, the San Francisco Gate. This is the headline. Awful, heroic experience. Coyotes are killing San Francisco pets. So the story is a man and a woman were walking their dog near this park in San Francisco, Crissy Field. And because it's been such an area where people move in, people move out, coyotes all of a sudden have descended upon the area. There's like 100 coyotes in the area, and they've been eating people's pets. Like, think about what's going on allegedly in Springfield, Ohio, and substitute the Haitians with coyotes.
What's the heroic part of it?
Well, the 2 dogs that were being walked, right? One of them lost its life. But the other one, the boyfriend that was with the woman, like wrestled and punched one of the coyotes and got the other dog away.
Oh, my gosh.
So I consider that pretty heroic.
That's horrible.
Every once in a while, Rob, you got to punch a coyote in the face.
That's horrible.
You wouldn't punch a coyote to save Bruce?
No, I would. I'm just saying it's horrible that this is happening.
Oh, yeah.
How does a civilized area of society get to the point where coyotes are in, like, usually a populated area? You might see a coyote every so often, but the fact that they're invading that society, that's pretty disturbing.
An investigation by the biologist at the National Park Service's Golden Gate National Recreation Area wrote this long email that Yeah, the coyotes have become part of the community, and they see small dogs and animals as prey. So imagine just going for a walk downtown on Monument Circle, and instead of all the homeless bums around, it's coyotes trying to bite and kill your dog.
By the way, I was walking around downtown waiting for the show to begin today. The homeless invasion is back. I mean, it's like every street corner.
Oh, just wait till there's a major convention, though, because then they get put on a shuttle bus and taken to some of these hotels over by the airport.
I mean, I'm normally out of here at noon, so I don't see a lot of this. But so obviously I had time to kill, so I was just walking around downtown. And every street corner, there was a homeless person or a panhandler, and they scream at you. They get into it with you. What am I doing? Walking.
Moral of the story, sometimes you have to punch a coyote in the face.
Damn, nature, you scary.
When is the optimal time to file for Social Security? You know, it's not just about a specific age. This decision could needlessly trigger higher taxes on your benefits and higher taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals. You could even double your Medicare premiums. So if you don't consider all of these things, it could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We know and trust Bill, and you can too. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-932-9912. This is the one tool that could help you get the most income from Social Security, and it won't cost you a dime, even if you're not a client. Call 317-932-9912. That's Bill Demery at 317-932-9912.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road, just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, your premier gun store. Over 1,200 firearms in stock and the largest selection of used firearms in the area. Premier Arms is home of the Buy Room. This exclusive, private, and secure room is where Premier Arms will buy your estate or special collection of firearms and jewelry. Premier Arms and PA Jewelers, their one-of-a-kind jewelry store located in the same building, are the largest buyers of firearms, firearm collections, and estate jewelry in the Midwest. Talk to Premier Arms today. 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swainco 317-407-1868 or SwaincoLLC.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, 400 Hoosiers heading to Florida to help with hurricane recovery. And a police shooting in White County last night. Those stories and plenty more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Just hours from landfall. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Hurricane Milton heading for the west central coast of Florida right now, packing 120-mile-per-hour winds, a Category 3 storm.
Wind picking up here right now. I'm starting to see a sign off to my right. I'm wondering if it's going to go flying.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tampa, which hasn't had a direct hit from a major storm in more than a century and could get double the 7-foot storm surge it just had from Helene. Milton is expected to make landfall south of Tampa tonight.
It really is already being felt from the west coast all the way to the east coast, and almost unbelievably a tornado outbreak here today.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz, the storm spawning multiple tornadoes and already knocking out power to more than 70,000. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris getting a multi-agency storm briefing earlier today at the White House.
This hurricane poses an extreme danger, and we urge everyone in Florida to take extreme caution. And we are with you. And we will get through this together.
The president also again defending the federal response to Hurricane Helene.
For the last few weeks, there's been a reckless, irresponsible, and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies that are disturbing people.
President Biden says former President Trump is leading disinformation, including claims that property is being confiscated.
It's undermining confidence in the incredible rescue and recovery work that has already been taken and will continue to be taken.
Trump says the response has been mismanaged. He's holding 2 rallies today in Pennsylvania.
Everybody get to the polls so we get these horrible politicians out of there. We want to get rid of them.
The first rally in Scranton, President Biden's childhood hometown. The White House says the president had a productive and frank call with Israel's prime minister today as Israel continues to weigh a response to Iran's missile attack last week. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Hopefully it turns out to be plenty of help. Clear skies with temperatures in the mid-70s downtown. There's no rain on your radar. You'll have a low of 50 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Hundreds of Indiana National Guard members are heading south to help with hurricane relief. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Governor Holcomb says the soldiers will clear roads, manage shelters, and hand out supplies in parts of Florida. The soldiers are from Terre Haute, New Albany, Lawrence, and Gary. They'll also work with federal agencies to manage Milton's response, which is the second large storm to hit the area in 2 weeks. Members from Indiana Task Force 1 and AES Indiana will also help people in Florida where needed. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hit the road. That's the message from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg for those living in the path of Hurricane Milton.
By far the most important thing to know is if you're under evacuation orders, get out. Listen to those who are warning you in areas where it's not safe.
The former South Bend mayor talking with CNN. The storm's supposed to hit Florida's west coast tonight. If not, it'll be early Thursday morning. Milton currently a Category 3. Someone was shot after a disturbance at a liquor store in White County last night. Responding officers found out their suspect had left the scene to hide out in a home with a knife. And apologies for the technical difficulties. It was supposed to be audio of State Police Sergeant Jeremy Pierce saying that the suspect ran at them with that knife. That's when he says an officer shot and killed a man. He died in the hospital, or the suspect, rather. The whole thing remains under investigation. Traffic and weather in about a minute. It's 5:03.
Looking for a great place to go for car care? Hi, this is Lonnie Hinkle from Jiffy Lube, and I'd like to share the top 5 reasons that every Hoosier should trust Jiffy Lube to help keep their car running safe and well. Number 5, our computer system holds the maintenance data for every make and model. We know exactly what your car needs and when it needs to be done. Number 4, Jiffy Lube's training system is in the Training Magazine Hall of Fame. Along with companies like Ritz-Carlton, Starbucks, and Nordstrom's, our team does the job right. Number 3, you never need an appointment. We are ready to serve you whenever it works best for you, so come on in and see us. Number 2, Jiffy Lube accepts competitor coupons so you can get our great service at the desperate price of our competitors. And number 1, Jiffy Lube is a one-stop maintenance shop, and we make it easy for you to take great care of your car. Avoid the repair shop by getting your maintenance done at Jiffy Lube. And we now offer brakes, tires, tune-ups, and minor repairs at most stores. So head to Jiffy Lube. There's really no reason to take your car anywhere else.
Matt Bear's got traffic at 504.
Yeah, Harrison looking at eastbound 70 on the west side, crash at Belmont. Right around Harding Street, blocking 2 left lanes, causing stop traffic past Tibbs Avenue. Your delay right now running 19 minutes. Crash on 70 downtown, westbound 70 heading towards the airport. This is blocking the center lane, causing stop-and-go traffic through the south split and back to the north split. Inbound 65, stop-and-go, White River Bridge down to Meridian Penn, 18-minute delay. Crash, Fishers, Oleo Road at 126th Street. Looking at southbound 465 on the east side, stop and go before 70 down to Brookville Road, and eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And Wish TV meteorologist Tera Hastings joins Hammer and Nigel next. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's... Hurricane Milton on a beeline for the Gulf Coast of Florida. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall, he's doing a double shift today, filling in for Big Nige. And somebody that's going to do a double shift in her own right is Tera Hastings of Wish TV. Because, Tera, it's not enough for you to have that very awkward, cringeworthy crosstalk with Tony Katz in the morning. We thought we would bring you back and do a little afternoon delight here.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You were downtown earlier today. Like, you tagged us in a tweet, and I'm disappointed that I didn't see you. You were here at the building doing something, right?
Yeah, we were doing like a weather promo shoot. It was Ryan and I. We were sitting down. We had these, what is right next to you guys? Is it like the chocolate?
South Bend Chocolate Company, yeah.
Yeah, we were right there, and man, they have excellent hot chocolate. They gave us some hot chocolate. We sat down right in front of their little shop there and said a few lines, and we were on our merry way. So look for that promo later this month.
Nice. Excellent. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. This hurricane looks like a bad mamma jamma. What is the latest? What do we know? Do we have an approximate time that this thing is going to make landfall yet?
Yeah, I think it'll make landfall somewhere after midnight, likely. And I just had one of my friends just send me a text message, and she's like, what is exactly making landfall? Because it's raining right now in Florida. Like, it looks like all of the hurricane is moving over the state, and that is correct. The technical terminology, when the center of the eye makes landfall or hits land, that's when it, quote, makes landfall. So the center of the eye is still several hours away, but they are getting inundated right now with intense rain. And my goodness, I was looking at the radar. I don't think I've ever seen that many tornado warnings. I mean, and looking at some of the winds and the velocity, it is intense. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like this before. It is really, really absurd of all of the tornado warnings that are going on right now. But the 5 o'clock advisory just came out, and I'm looking it up here. It is still a Category 3 storm with winds at 120 miles per hour, and it's moving to the northeast at about 17 miles per hour. So we're looking like it's beginning to wobble a little bit and maybe wobbling a little farther northward. The hurricanes tend to do this when they go through this like eye wall regeneration process, right? So we're getting going here, and the eye wall not necessarily distinct, what you would normally see maybe on a really intense hurricane. So that is kind of meaning that the winds from that storm kind of widening out, those really strong winds. So it's moving to the northeast at about 17 miles per hour. I think it'll reach land, officially the eye wall, probably shortly after midnight tonight.
Tara, one of the things we talked about today is inside of these storms are these tornadoes. You mentioned it very briefly.
Yeah.
Talk about how those tornadoes form and the damage, obviously, that they can do inside of the hurricane itself.
Yeah, so you got these like outer bands of the hurricane, right? And within those bands, you get these cells that develop and they can rotate. And much like we have thunderstorms popping up, sometimes, we get these big lines of thunderstorms that move through and you get little individual tornadoes that develop along these lines. That's what we're kind of seeing with these bands that are moving through. And looking at Florida, you just see this sea of red boxes everywhere. And so we're getting tornadoes and tornado warnings, and these are confirmed large tornadoes too, from southern Florida all the way farther inland and then up north as well, and distinct radar signatures too. When you look at the velocity data, it is incredible to see all of these tornadoes popping up all at once.
Tera Hastings is our guest. She's the meteorologist for our news gathering partners over at Wish TV. Tara, what's the biggest concern for this hurricane? Each one's different. I get that.
Right.
It seems like Helene was more of a storm surge. That was the problem more than anything else. Are we talking about wind or a rain event or storm surge here? What's going to be the big problem?
Honestly, I feel like all of the above, right? So it's still going to be a major hurricane, and a major hurricane is classified as a Category 3 or higher when it makes landfall. So we're talking about high-end Category 3 here with those winds at 120 miles per hour, right? So it's going to move through. It's moving to the northeast, what did I say, 17 miles per hour. So you've got that movement to the northeast, and then you've got it spinning, right, counterclockwise. So when you're talking about making landfall and the greatest storm surge, whoever's on that kind of southeast corner is where they're really going to see, kind of northeast, southeast corner, that whole quadrant right there, is going to see the most intense winds and storm surge as well. And right now it looks like, again, kind of wobbling a little bit farther northward, a little closer to maybe Tampa Bay, perhaps. And if that's the case, we're talking about storm surge anywhere from 10 to 15 feet from just south maybe of Tampa Bay to about Bradenton, Sarasota. I think that whole area is really under the gun for that 10 to maybe 15 feet of storm surge. And then you're going to see those winds 100 plus miles per hour. And then rainfall, we're talking maybe a foot of rain in some spots. Whoever's kind of on that northern fringe of the eye, Tampa through farther inland, could get 10 plus inches of rainfall from this system moving through. So I think this is going to be one of those storms that you get the storm surge, you get the wind, and you get the rain. And some of our computer models this morning were still keeping it a Category 1 storm as it moves over land and then eventually heads back out into the Atlantic.
That's wild. The fact that it crosses land and it's going across the state and it's so strong right now, it remains a hurricane.
Well, yeah, it was. So what was that? What is it? I'm getting my days mixed up here. Wednesday's today, right? So Monday evening, this storm was a beast. It was up to 180 miles per hour, and the pressure dropped down to the 5th strongest Atlantic hurricane on record. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of perspective. Now, of course, it has, quote, lost its intensity a little bit. It is beginning to change, but we still are going to see, catastrophic damage here across parts of maybe Tampa, if it continues to kind of move a little bit and wobble farther northward, all the way to parts maybe Sarasota and Bradenton as well.
Tara, last thing here before we let you go. Have you ever covered a hurricane? Have you ever been one of those people outside hanging onto a palm tree, putting on the batting helmet like Jim Cantori does for some reason? Have you ever done that?
No, I have not. And you know what? It is just does not fill my cup. I'll tell you that. I've never really, I enjoy watching it on the radar and seeing where it's going, and obviously trying to predict the awe of Mother Nature. But, I've reported out in thunder snow before. I feel like that's a little bit more my speed here than
I think you're kind of a wimp.
Rude.
Hey, you tell your boss over there, I think it's Al Carl, I'm not sure who it is, but you tell
That's
Al
right.
Carl that I volunteer as tribute. If they need somebody to go down there and cover a hurricane and they're willing to pay, I will be that guy because it's on my bucket list, Tara.
Just holding the anemometer in the air, trying to get a wind gust reading when you're trying not to fall over. Do you see those do you remember those memes or those, what do you call them, GIFs or GIFs or whatever
Yes.
you call them?
Yeah, my
God.
favorite one of all time was the reporter that was in a canoe after the hurricane had barreled through, and you would think that this woman was in this deep, horrific floodwaters, and then these two dudes come walking by with groceries, just walking through the water.
I do remember that. How embarrassing.
If somebody wants to get more information on the hurricane or maybe just the forecast here in Indy, where can they go?
Yeah, you can go to, follow me on social media, Met, as in for meteorologist, Tera Hastings. I'm on the X/Twitter program, also Instagram, Facebook, and I am also on the TikTok. I don't know if you know this or not. I have
TikTok
gotten a
Tara. TikTok Tara. Let's go.
Yes, it is meteorologist mom. And I'm shocked that no one has that handle on TikTok, but I do now. So there you go.
Congratulations.
Follow me on all the socials.
Tera Hastings, Wish TV. Tara, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, you bet. Anytime, guys.
I know we're up against a break, but
Can I
Rob,
just say something real quick? I once knew a dancer named TikTok Tara.
did you?
Yeah.
What was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? In between wives here? Is that during that time where Rob Kendall was the wild man in between?
Let me guess, she was on the east side.
It's not every day you get to have your dream come true and do a show with me.
That's right.
It feels like this is kind of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation for you today, Rob. So knowing that you were going to be here today, I've got one of your favorite segments lined up.
Here's another nude dude in the nude.
Dateline Florida.
I love it.
Naked Florida man says he's Satan as he attacks a woman in her apartment. A man was arrested after police say he entered a woman's home, jumped on her bed naked, said he was Satan, that this would be her last day on earth. This is all part of the police report. 26-year-old Roberlantes Pena is the man accused of entering the home last week. The woman came home, saw Pena naked on her bed. Pena started getting a little bit aggressive and, quote, he told me he was the devil, that this was my last day, and that he was also my husband. And then the police report goes on to say he started to run off, but before he left, he opened up a drawer, grabbed a bunch of her boyfriend's underpants, didn't put them on, but took off running. He's accused of burglary with assault and battery.
This has been another lewd
dude in the nude.
Love that segment. Love it.
Matt Baird, did you ever tell anybody you were Satan, show up naked to their house and take off with their underpants?
No, I told him I was Beelzebub, actually.
Oh,
It's eastbound.
good.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. West Side crash, eastbound 70 at Harding Street. 2 left lanes are blocked, and traffic is stopped back to Tibbs Avenue. A little bit beyond that. Delayed time's 48 minutes. It's brutal. Westbound 70 at West Street, downtown crash clear. Still a little bit slow back to the south split. Inbound 65, stop-and-go traffic from the White River Bridge down to Meridian Penn. That's 12 minutes on the delay. East side southbound 465 stop and go before I-70 down to Brookville Road. Eastbound 465 stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Crash Fish Fishers, Oleot Road at 126th Street. Also a crash on the east side. This is Emerson Avenue, just north of I-70. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit TradeInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We got Tony Kennet coming up here in just about 15 minutes. But up next, a fun round of Are You Okay With This? That's coming up next. It's 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Hammer and Nigel here for your Central Indiana American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. That would be our friends at Absolute Comfort. They specialize in these Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits. They can be mounted on your wall, flush with the ceiling. They heat and cool at an efficient level, and they can be used to heat or cool any specific room without ductwork.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi Electric ductless systems, they've got advancements that can sense when a person is in a room, and they can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, call Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Remember back in 2020 when prices weren't so out of control? We miss those days too. So for a limited time, we're having a Turn Back the Time sale. Now through Monday, October 14th, we're turning the sale prices back to pre-pandemic levels and still delivering for free within 75 miles. All Lazy Boy, mattresses, everything in the store. Now through Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
We've seen that sleep apnea bully stop breathing more than 100 times an hour. But this problem is solvable, and Advent has simple solutions that have been proven to be extremely effective.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Great news! Indy Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers. Call 888-RHINO-41 for details.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
Are you really okay with this?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
The other half of the Degenerates Next Door podcast is Rob Kendall. Download that podcast anywhere you get them. We're both on a roll. Download it wherever you get podcasts. Rob Kendall is hosting. Are you okay with this? Rob, fire away.
Last night, Hammer, at the Dodgers versus Padres playoff baseball game in San Diego, Padres fan and Blink 182 band member Tom DeLonge led the crowd in a massive sing-along of the Blink hit, All the Small Things. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I love this. You know me. You have DJ'd a couple weddings with me. I'm a sucker for a crowd sing-along.
Yes.
I love a crowd sing-along. And imagine you're this guy from Blink 182, Tom. What a moment, right? You're a Padres fan. You're at the game. You're from that area. They're putting it to your rival, the Dodgers. The Dodgers have spent all this money and you're beating them. And then your song comes on in the stadium and they show you on the Jumbotron. What a rock star moment. Here's what it sounded like last night inside the stadium. And he's got a microphone. Yeah, you hear that, Ohtani? You can't gamble your way out of that one, kid. That crowd's rocking and rolling.
This is sort of like the other night on Patrol Live when that one guy got pulled over by the cops and WIBC was playing. That's how we felt.
Right. That's exactly how we felt. So, yeah, man, I'm all right with that. I think that's a total rock star thing. You're the fan. You're the guy behind the song. Everybody's singing your song. That's awesome.
All right, Hammer, are you okay with this? Speaking of baseball, the Tropicana Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas was imploded today. It was knocked down to make room for the new baseball park of the Las Vegas A's. Are you okay with this?
I'm reminded of that Simpsons episode where they're getting ready to implode a building to build Monty Burns Casino, and they're counting down to the implosion, and they get down to 2, 1, and the construction worker says, implosion? I thought you said X, and boom, this big, massive explosion takes place. Yes, begrudgingly, I'm okay with this. I say begrudgingly because I like the Tropicana. I had some good memories there. The Tropicana was one of those old school Vegas type of vibes. You got a good room for a fair price. They had robes in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not a robe guy, but if you're going to hang up a robe in my room in Vegas, I'm going to put that thing on and walk around like the dude in Big Lebowski. I'm going to walk around like Elliot Gould and Ric Flair with my robe on, styling and profiling. And I am going to enjoy a baseball stadium on the Strip, though. I'm a baseball guy. I love baseball. And now I can stay somewhere on the Strip and just walk to a Major League Baseball game. I think that's pretty solid.
Hammer, are you okay with this? The Chippendales dancers are unionizing. Dancers are unionizing.
What's about damn time?
The dancers are unionizing in an effort to gain higher wages and benefits. Are you okay with this?
Sure. I mean, why not? Like, if they feel like they're being done dirty, by all means, unionize. Like, what's going to happen, though? Do they bring in scab Chippendales? Is it going to be like that scene in Saturday Night Live where you've got Patrick Swayze on one side, Chris Farley comes in, and they're auditioning for that final spot as a Chippendale dancer?
Barney, we all agreed that your dancing was great. Your presentation was very sexy. I guess in the end, we all thought that Adrian's body was just much, much better than yours.
Okay.
You see, it's just that at Chippendales, our dancers have traditionally had that lean, muscular, healthy physique, like Adrian's. Whereas yours is, well, fat and flabby.
Right.
That's what the scab Chippendale dancers are going to be like if there's a strike of the real dancers.
It's one of my favorite SNL skits because Farley is like processing everything he's telling him. Like, yes, I now that you explain it to me, I understand why you're not choosing me.
Tony Kennet is coming up next. Right now, Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Hoosiers that are helping out. 76 degrees with completely clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. And radar's clear as well. Tonight's low dropping to about 50. This newscast brought to you by Driven to Save Lives. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Hundreds of Indiana National Guard members are headed south to help with hurricane relief. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Governor Holcomb says the soldiers will clear roads, manage shelters, and hand out supplies in parts of Florida. The soldiers are from Terre Haute, New Albany, Lawrence, and Gary. They'll also work with federal agencies to manage Milton's response, which is the second large storm to hit the area in 2 weeks. Members from Indiana Task Force 1 and AES Indiana will also help people in Florida where needed. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Someone was shot and killed by an officer in White County last night. Officers say their suspect ran at them with a knife after he was tracked down following a disturbance at a liquor store. State Police Sergeant Jeremy Pierce says that person died in the hospital.
Well, right now, it's under investigation to determine all the facts that are around this, and that will include canvassing the area and looking at any information that our detectives can get.
Pierce says after the investigation, everything gets submitted to the White County Prosecutor's Office to be reviewed. Despite how bad the conflict may get between Iran and Israel in the Middle East, State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller says that Israel needs to keep allowing humanitarian help into Gaza.
If you look at the full sweep of the past year, there have been a number of moments when we had to intervene because humanitarian access was stalled for various reasons, and make clear that we expected the government of Israel to push through those roadblocks, whether they be political, whether they be bureaucratic, whether they be logistic.
The U.S. at the moment is evacuating Americans from Lebanon because of the conflict. FEMA Administrator Deanna Criswell says they're ready to help with hurricane relief.
We are prepared for what we need to do to support Florida, as well as all of the other states.
She says FEMA is still responding to damage from Hurricane Helene in several states. About $340 million has been spent in helping hurricane survivors. Hurricane Milton, which you've been hearing about all week, is supposed to show up in Tampa Bay tonight. Stealing gift cards and cash is what a U.S. Postal Service employee out of Indianapolis is accused of. John Hayrick reports.
Court documents say Justin Crane opened numerous greeting cards and took cash and gift cards out of the mail that came out to be about $5,000 over the course of a few months at the Indianapolis Processing and Distribution Center. Police say when he was interviewed, he admitted to stealing the money out of the mail. He has 6 months of house arrest, followed by 3 years of probation, and he has to pay a $5,000 fine. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison crash approaching the north split on westbound as 72 lanes are blocked. The center and the right center lanes. We have a car carrier in here, not to mention a pickup pulling a trailer, and traffic is jammed back to Sherman Drive. Crashes on I-70 on the south end of downtown. First one going westbound at 70 after West Street, causing stop-and-go traffic into the south split. The second one, a little further west, going eastbound 70 towards downtown. That's at Harding Street, blocking the left lane, stopping traffic well past Holt Road and almost to Sam Jones Expressway. That delay time right now running 16 minutes. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month only at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies today, warm and wonderful for your Wednesday. We'll get up to 76 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, cool again, lows near 47. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tera Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out. Rob Kendall is in. And it's an all-star cast. Look who we've got on the hotline right now. The host of the Tony Kennet cast. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Right after this show here at 93 WIBC. Tony Kennet with us. Tonus, where are you right now?
I'm driving north to the great state of Wisconsin. My alma mater, the college that I went to, has invited me to address the entire student body as well as the staff
right before the election, going to talk about some of the things that are at stake because Wisconsin is very much in play, and a lot of that's due to the recent couple of weeks kind of flipped everything on its head.
So basically, at any point in your speech tonight, if you need like an applause line, all you have to do is have a dramatic pause, lean in, and go, Culver's. And then everybody's going to stand up and cheer. That's it. That's it.
I got to tell you, every time I plan a trip to Wisconsin, I can feel the cheese curds in my future. It's fantastic. I'm so excited.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris's tour. You're going on a little tour right now. Kamala Harris had her media tour, and it was very friendly outlets. It was the Call Her Daddy sex podcast. It was Howard Stern, who has just become a complete butt sniffer to the left. And it was The View. And I don't know how it happened, Tony, but Kamala Harris came out worse after appearing on all of those shows. How do you screw up an appearance on The View?
I gotta ask, if you've ever seen any kind of a sitcom or a cartoon where they portray a character as so unathletic that they try to, like, show it on camera, and they'll do it by, like, they'll say, I'm so unathletic, I'm so uncoordinated, and they'll say, certainly you can't be that bad, and so they'll put, like, a baseball or a beach ball on a tee in front of them and say swing, and the person will swing and clock themselves in the face. It's a very old gag in Hollywood. That was Kamala Harris with the friendliest media to her campaign this week. I mean, The View? How did Sonny Hostin actually get Kamala Harris to completely throw the very last nail in her campaign's coffin? It was incredible.
Yeah, for so long, they kept her away from the press. But leading up to the election, right, we're just about 30 days away, they try to get her on this blitz, as they call it, and it's friendly outlets. It's not like she's speaking to Sean Hannity here. She goes on The View and says, yeah, I wouldn't do anything different if I had the opportunity. Talking about the time that she's been the vice president compared to Joe Biden's presidency. Hasn't she been trying to distance herself from that from the very beginning?
That's actually why she's doing this media tour, is that the internal polling, according to individuals on the Michigan Democratic Party, as well as like the North Carolinian Democratic Party, have expressed severe concerns that Kamala is, like, in some regions, 10, 15, 20 points behind in regions of Michigan. And that's really hurting her, is Joe Biden's record. And she's like Hillary Clinton, but worse. We've already talked about that before. So she goes on this grand media, just beautiful tour. And at the same time, and when I say the same time, I mean to the minute, the same time, Joe Biden is coming out in front of the media, and he's throwing up an old gnarled hand, and he's grabbing her by the leg and pulling her down with him because he wants her to lose. There's open war between Biden and Kamala Harris teams.
I'm glad you bring that up, Tony, because I've mentioned that on the show before, and I think Nigel kind of gives me side eye and thinks I'm wearing some tinfoil hat here. Joe Biden hates what happened to him, and he hates Kamala Harris because of it.
I have two pieces of evidence for that. Number one is that we actually have members from the inside of the White House that are now confirming this, that Biden's staff and Kamala's staff are basically at open war. This was reported yesterday. It's everywhere now. And it's clear because Biden, this is the second piece of evidence, Biden becomes extremely clear and articulate. It's like he gets new life. Any other question, he mumbles. It's like he's gargling oatmeal. You ask him about Kamala Harris, though, and it's like he steps out of 1974. Oh, yes, Kamala Harris, we've been singing from the same song sheet, every decision we made together. In fact, all of those policies you don't like, sure, signatures on them. It's like, ooh, man, he is going at her with the boot knife.
It's almost a self-own, though, isn't it? Because he's going out there knowing that's going to sabotage her, but the messaging is, I sucked so bad, but she was holding my hand the whole time.
I mean, it really is just an awkward point in this particular part of the Democratic Party because the progressive wing and the corporate kind of 90s labor Democrat, the union wing, are at odds with each other, and it's getting worse and worse. Michigan is a beautiful picture of this. Kamala has not convinced the Shia Muslim fundamentalists that she's on their side. She has not convinced the Jews of New York and New Hampshire and Virginia and Pennsylvania that she's on their side. Things are not good. So she goes on a media tour and craps the bed on that, which, I mean, you talk about October surprises. this isn't even something that should have been a surprise. She's been away from media for a reason, and she didn't just like trip the bear trap. She shoved her entire calf into the bear trap as it snapped shut.
And she's not getting any help from her side characters, her sidekicks, right? From Old Balls, Tim Walz, to the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff here. These two guys are just a couple of buffoons and zeros. I was told that Tim Walz was going to be America's dad, America's football coach. And I was told that Doug Emhoff was the new face of masculinity. Well, one guy is a habitual liar and has been called out on it and is like a wacky buffoon. The other guy knocked up a nanny and has been known to smack a bitch.
I really do appreciate that the story about Doug Emhoff beating his ex-girlfriend has disappeared so quickly. It's like he was smacking her with Hunter Biden's laptop. I got to tell you, I'm not sure personally if that making a story disappear this time around is going to be as easy, because this is making more people search for the story. Google Trends shows that questions about Doug Emhoff's abusive past is like quadrupling in like the 400th, 500th percentile. And then as far as Walz is concerned, he was just on Jimmy Kimmel, again, just a T-ball pitch of an interview. And Tim Walz said he hoped that he woke up with Kamala Harris on the morning of November 6th. And Kimmel was like, you don't mean like sleeping in the same bed with her, do you? And then Walz again goes, oh, I'm a knucklehead. I can't talk. Everyone knows that. And it's like, oh, my God, this man's a heartbeat away from the presidency.
Remember that whole campaign about how J.D. Vance is weird? It was supposed to be J.D. Vance that was the weird guy, and we've got the football coach. This guy is, again, I used the word already, but it's true. He's a buffoon.
I'm just amazed that she went with him instead of Josh Shapiro. Realistically, Pennsylvania, it looks like she's going to lose it. I remember telling you that I thought that Trump at this point basically was going to win Michigan and lose Wisconsin. Now that the disaster aid and the Teamsters drama has come out with the Teamsters president basically calling Kamala Harris a lot of very fancy 4-letter and 5-letter words, now I don't even know if you can put Wisconsin in play. This is the best a Republican has performed in the general polls in like 32 years. And 32 years ago is when we started modern polling. That's how wild this is.
Now, I will caution Republicans from being a little too overconfident here, because I think this election could be won or lost in the final 5 days. Tony, I go back to 2016. I really believe Donald Trump won that election by hitting Wisconsin hard in those last 5 days, while Hillary Clinton was giving it the Heisman Trophy stiff arm. So let's not get a little overconfident here. The Republicans can and usually do find a way to screw this up.
Oh, don't mistake my praise for overconfidence. As I've said clearly, no one snatches defeat from the jaws of victory like the Republican Party. But when you look at how Donald Trump has been maintaining his campaign, he was just in an interview yesterday where he said, I'm going to run up until the very last second like I'm a point behind. That's the right attitude to have. I remember telling you when I was at the Republican convention in Milwaukee, I was worried we would have Hillary Clinton-itis where, hey, everything's good. Let's just sit back and, well, not enjoy a Miller Lite like Kamala did, but we can talk about that later. We'll just sit back and
Don't be shaming Miller Lite now. I will not stand for Miller Lite slander on this program, Tony, and you know that.
Well, I'm not slamming Miller Lite, but you and I know that Kamala Harris has never drank a Miller Lite in her life. Reading the label on the side, oh, look, it's the champagne of beers. The cringe. Hillary Clinton all over again.
You mean to tell me the same woman who claimed that she used to smoke weed while listening to Tupac back in college, even though when she was in college, Tupac was probably in 8th grade, may be full of crap?
Well, I mean, hey now. She comes from a middle-class family.
That's right.
We all
You're
know
right.
The middle-class family's time travel.
Can you stick around for one more break?
Sure.
Tony Kennet of the Tony Kennet Cast joining us. He is coming right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This October 10th through 20th, witness a race like no other. In Driven to Save Lives, a documentary that's more than just a story. It's a life-saving movement.
Driven to Save Lives is inspiration.
Fueled by the legacy of racing champion Brian Clausen, whose heart symbol on his driver's license became a beacon of hope. This film explores the powerful impact of organ and tissue donation in Indiana's racing community and beyond.
To hear Brian's heart beat again, I'll never forget that moment.
Join us for the world premiere event during the Heartland International Film Festival on October 12th at Newfields, or stream the film online.
What Driven to Save Lives does is gives all of us the opportunity to be Brian Clausen.
Visit driventosavelives.org for more information and tickets. That's driven, the number 2, savelives.org.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com. and grow your hair back today.
This is the day of the big sale at your gift shop.
Welcome in.
So this isn't just a big day for your business. It's a big day for the network keeping it all connected. That is, if it can handle the pressure.
Next in line, please.
So is it possible to get business internet you can really count on? It is. With 99.9% network reliability from Comcast Business. It's like this neat little bow.
Do you like that gift wrap?
Really ties it all together. Reliable internet for your business. It's not just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with reliable internet and advanced security for $69 a month for 24 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 10/27/24. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New 300 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Truck drivers, are you tired of missing out on valuable time at home? At Midwest Logistics Systems, you can find a local dedicated job that gets you home every day. Plus, we offer predictable Monday through Friday schedules with occasional Saturdays. As an MLS driver, you'll haul 100% no-touch freight, earn performance and safety bonuses, and have access to full benefits. Don't wait. Upgrade your driving job today. Search jobs and apply now at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com. That's MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
BJ's Wholesale Club is opening soon in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel or the membership center at Rangeline Crossing Plaza to join today.
Chris Weddican here, owner of Absolute Comfort. Our guys' experience brings us to a higher level than most other companies.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennet, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, this is a crash leaving downtown towards the northwest side. Northbound 65 21st, blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to West Street. Inbound 65, same area, stop-and-go traffic, MLK to Meridian Pad. Crash westbound 70 towards downtown. This is after Rural Street, blocking 2 right lanes, causing stop traffic back to Emerson Avenue for a delay time of 19 minutes. Looking at 70 on the south end of downtown. This is a stall going eastbound 70 at West Street. Right now, the exit ramp to West is partially blocked. And we also have a crash coming eastbound 70 at Harding Street. That's blocking the left lane, stopping traffic past Holt Road, not quite to Sam Jones. And then westbound 70, like you're leaving downtown out to the airport. This is an entrance ramp that's slow from West Street Because of a stalled vehicle, the ramp is open, partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by B Window. This month only at bwindow.com. Receive $400 off per window and $250 per patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing. B Window, proud to be employee owned. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, sunshine 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Back with Tony Kennet. He's an investigative reporter at the Daily Signal. He's also the host of the Tony Kennet Cast. He will not be on the air tonight at 7. He's up in the key swing state of Wisconsin delivering a big speech. One more thing here, Tony, before we wanted to let you get back to getting your speech ready for tonight. You went to Hawaii about a year ago after the horrendous fires that took place, and you saw firsthand how FEMA was handling that situation. Now, before we talk about the hurricanes here, reset what you saw with your own two eyes when you went to Hawaii and witnessed FEMA in action.
So to remind everyone, the job of FEMA is supposed to coordinate all of the various local and state groups to work together. That's the job. They are the Federal Emergency Management Agency. When I got to Maui, found out, shockingly, they were doing a very poor job of managing it. The locals there said that, both the survivors and those on the other side of the island, local officials were saying that. It was a mess. Found FEMA kicking individuals that were recently homeless because they lost everything out of the Grand Wailea Hotel and other expensive hotels so that FEMA could house their agents in there indefinitely. They blocked off entire areas so that people couldn't even go in and recover things that were semi-perishable from their homes. It was an unmitigated disaster. And the feeling of deja vu that I've been getting, Tim Kennedy, my videographer at Maui, is now in North Carolina, and I get texts from about every half an hour where he says this is just like Maui. It's just like Maui. FEMA is doing that bad of a job, and as a taxpayer, it's disgusting, but as an American, like, that's supposed to be the best project management agency we have. It's a disgrace. I'm ashamed.
And the other angle to this story, I don't think it's the most important, but I do think it matters, is the media aspect of this, because you have seen it with your own eyes. Social media exists, right? We're seeing what's happening in North Carolina with our own eyes, but you got folks from NBC News and CNN trying to tell you that, oh, it's all misinformation. FEMA's doing great. They're passing out all this money. Don't believe what you're hearing. I think that's disgusting.
This is something that actually really bothers me, is that there are very easy targets to hit on FEMA's attitude for this. And that what bothers me from kind of the populist right that I've seen is that, look, it's clearly enough to just hit these targets. And instead, what I'm seeing is a lot of people saying, oh, it's a big weather manipulation project, and FEMA's like sending in secret Apache helicopters to gun down the survivor. Stop it. Because when the media runs their disinformation stories, they start with the super nonsense, and then they take all of the genuine criticisms and they list them after that and say, oh, by the way, this is also disinformation. So that those of us trying to expose the incompetence and the corruption of Alejandro Mayorkas' entire Department of Homeland Security, including FEMA, well, our stuff is drowned out because we have to combat the government's pointing laser beams at the hurricanes. Like, it's really frustrating.
Tonus, knock it out of the park, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Huge sale at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. I'm talking like pre-pandemic prices. It's the Turn Back the Time sale. It's not going to happen again, only for a limited time. A sale ends Monday, October 14th. No other store is going to come close to these prices, trust me. Everything from Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, Bassett and Mattresses, from Tempur-Pedic and Stearns and Foster and Sierra Sleep. I mean, interest-free financing, just incredible deals going on right now.
Located in Columbus, Thompson Furniture and Mattress, owned and operated by the same Hoosier family since 1927. And when everybody else is raising up their prices, they still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store in Columbus. They take care of you guys. They take care of us here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. So if you need a couch, a love seat, a mattress, you name it, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus is where you need to go. ThompsonFurniture.net. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Fellas, if you're not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. It affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. Guys have different T levels. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Ask. There's a difference.
Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swingco 317-407-1868 or swingcollc.com.